I like that we can bring you in spirit, Leroy. Not a bad thing.
I like that too, I guess.
It's almost perfectly lined up. It almost looks good. What we'll have to do is when you're here next is get a shot of you, and that'll fix it. Yeah. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show, folks. Good to have everybody in house. It is Leroy and I on the con tonight. We will be walking you through all of the wonderful news of the day.
Strap in, folks. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I realize that I gotta get you higher volume when we're on this portion. You're coming in on the music channel, so you're a little low, and that's not your fault. But you will be high in a second, so don't turn it up. Exciting news today. A lot of going on, and we will cover it. Please do me a favor. Hang tight. Share, like, subscribe. Get this out if you would not mind. Have a new goal tonight. 350 is the focus. If you can help out with that, that'll be wonderful. One of our big donors is under a little hardship right now, so everyone helps pitch in, please. That would be awesome, so we can have a good night. Leroy and I are going to cover it all. We're going to try to be off on time tonight. I can't imagine unless there's breaking news. But either way, we will see you all in about 3 minutes.
Everybody, it's T.S. Dixon, author of The Woke Mind Viruses, and I want to tell you that I'm pleased to be part of The Dumb Show, the Don't Unfriend Me show that you can find every weeknight at 7 p.m. on social media at The Dumb Show or on their website, thedumbshow.com. See you there.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct,
tell you in 2
unfiltered.
seconds.
We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
To the triggered putts on YouTube, I know who you are. It's not hard. YouTube is one of our smallest channels. And when you get your feelings hurt and you downvote my show, you'll probably last another 5 or 6 days. I've seen this before. It's kind of like Trump derangement syndrome, but Liv calls it PMS, putting up with Matt's shit. And you've got a bad case of PMS. Let me give you some advice. Take some Midol, wash that down with a couple shots of whiskey, and get yourself a good cry, and everything will be okay. Or just keep downvoting me every night, because honestly, it's YouTube, and I really couldn't care less. Leroy, welcome to the show. How are you, buddy?
Thank you. I'm good. I had a good day. I had a productive day at work. And you can appreciate this when you have products that you're trying to get kicked out the door.
Sure.
They have to be peer reviewed.
Right.
They have to go through a QC process. And so I got 2 of them kicked up to the QCers, right? So they're getting peer reviewed now, which means I have a total of like 4 products that are waiting to get kicked out. And now I can move on to something else. Makes me happy.
You know what I just realized, just real quick while you were talking, and I care about everything you just said. I think I can do this, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, my mouse is... Dude, I don't know why this has been happening, but this computer is a powerhouse, but there's something going on. But look at that, buddy. Look what I just did.
Oh.
So...
Okay.
Then I can just do this. And turn off the border, and now you're in the Don't Unfriend Me show, bro.
I love that.
Dude, I just realized while you're talking, I didn't even hear anything you said.
Bam.
You said something about peer review, and I really don't care. But what I do care is that you're in the Don't Unfriend Me show right now.
Amazing.
Here, I gotta
It's
make
better than teleportation.
Look at Liv. I got Leroy into the Don't Unfriend Me show. There it is. Put your arm in the other place, dude. Put your arm back. Put your arm back.
She's like, how did you do that?
There it is. Look at that. Leroy is officially in the Don't Unfriend Me show. Is that not awesome? So it's almost like you're there, dude. That's really cool. I got to make you a little bigger, but otherwise, I think I got this down. Remind me, I just got to turn on your green screen when we go to the other spots. But now you are officially in the Don't Unfriend Me show. Nobody will ever know.
That looks amazing.
These are little things that we can do, folks. It's not hard. Hi. What's up?
Nothing.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Your son, you're going to have so many hard problems getting pants. 14s are almost too short.
I know he's going to be tall. He's all legs. I tried to tell you. He has to roll up his pants. That's what I had to do. Oh my God. I'm telling you the solution. He has to roll up his pants. I had to peg my pants and roll them up when I was a kid.
They don't fit him in the waist.
I know. Olivia. That's why he has to wear them saggy. He can't wear them up on his hips. If he does, he'll look like a dork. I'm all legs too. He's got to wear them down. All right. Well, let me take him shopping because I know what he's going through. All right. Welcome to the donut. My son's going to be tall, and he's now growing into his dude. This is the coolest thing. I swear to God, I keep looking down there, just thinking I'm going to see you over there. Can we reach out to each other doing this? Can we do this? Dude, look at that. This is awesome. This is the way it should be. You need to retire, but this looks really cool. All right. So welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. I guess we're going to lose this angle. My mouse, something's wrong. And there's something chugging the program. And it's really weird because this computer doesn't chug, but there's a connection issue. You know what I think it might be? I think that this is connected to my camera on my phone, and that might be muddying up the signal.
I was going to ask if it was your OnlyFans account, but okay.
No, but this is pretty serious because we can't do the show if I don't have a mouse that works. So, and there it was. So this Apple sends multiple signals, and they use a frequency that's different than Bluetooth for their proprietary stuff. So if you have too many, and I do, I've got 9 different Apple devices over here. So what I have to do is go in and I have to change the setting on the mouse to no longer use proprietary, but use Bluetooth, and it should be fine. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. These are things you figure out. Dude, this is... I don't want to leave this screen, Leroy. I mean, I almost want to do the whole show right here.
We could.
I mean, I could just have you come over just a little closer to me. I mean, just like right about there. God, this feels so much better.
Yes. Reminds me of that that movie Body Heat. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, or planes, trains, and automobiles. Those aren't pillows. All right, well, let's get to it. We got a big show to do. So, family is back in the house. My son and daughter, or my daughter and her boyfriend are building the computer desk for the new green room. And Olivia went with Ethan to go do some shopping. I also need to know something. How's the voice tonight? Is this more what it used to sound like when I first started, or is it different from the previous nights we've heard the voice? Is the voice different, better, same, worse, whatever?
I am not noticing a big difference.
Okay. All right. Well, I realized that I had some filters on for the last year and a half that I didn't want on. And so I removed them, and this is straight into the mic. So there's no de-esser, there's no, noise filter and all this other crap that was in here. Snoop Dogg's in the house. What's up, Snoop? Good to see you, buddy. All right, so let's get to it. Family's taking back over donations, so if you want to do that. By the way, just to let you know, let me put this on here real quick. Background is set, and if you go to thedumbshow.com, you can save 10%. By using code DUMB10. That will kind of stay up at the top there because we need some life support for the store. I really haven't done a whole bunch of new shirts and stuff, and we need you. So if you've been looking to buy a shirt or a book or some coffee or something like that, all high-quality stuff, please do me a favor and go and head on over to the store. Leroy, have you been following the news and what's been going on, dude?
I have not today. Today was a little bit of a busy workload kind of day. I have to admit I missed a little bit of the news. Why? What's up?
That's fine. Nothing to worry about that. There is a lot. But I think the big thing on everybody's brain right now is Donald Trump. There a few days ago there were some photographs, and they came out, and of course with the Epstein stuff going on, we got to be like, oh God. But there were some photographs, and it had his hand, and it looked like he had an IV. There was makeup on it, and typical older people.
Health scare.
Sure. Yeah. Well, but fluids, and then some people noticed that he had on his legs, in his suit, had what looked to be like pressure weights on his legs, which would obviously kind of constrict and keep the swelling down. So they came out with it today. And, how do you sit here and call Biden out and not, if he's got a medical condition, tell us? So he has chronic venous insufficiency. And it's not deep vein thrombosis, but it is a cardiovascular problem. And it can happen because of pre-diabetic. It can happen because of old age, vascular disease. People's veins collapse when they get older, especially when they have a lot of pressure from all the crap that they give us. It's not the butter and the saturated fats that kill you and the cholesterol, folks. It's the swelling of your body and the pressure on the veins that does that. And all the oils that they give us and the wheat that they give us, and they've switched us from saturated fats and natural cholesterol to this shit that just absolutely has just seed oil, which has just ruined our bodies along with high fructose corn syrup. So it comes down to this. I'm not a doctor. I don't have a degree, and that's why I put out my meme today. I'm here for the chronic venous insufficiency experts that got their degrees today. Eating my popcorn because they're all out here. I will tell you this: Donald Trump's going to be fine. He's getting older. He doesn't eat the best. He probably needs a little more exercise. And things happen. I think he's okay. But maybe this could explain a little bit of the irritability, right? He's getting this news and it's stressing him out. And we're going to talk about that tonight. We've kind of dug into the Epstein stuff and said, okay, well, this, we want it released and everything else. But there's another side of me that is saying, do we trust the man? And do we sit here and just people just chill out for a bit? Because if you're in, like, it's like you're 100% in his corner and you don't question anything, well, then the cult stuff is true. And if you're able to go ahead and just systematically say, hey, you know what, I don't know if I like this a lot, that's okay too. But
Right.
when you're on both sides of the spectrum, one is that you want to crucify him, and the other one is you're like, oh well, he can't do anything wrong. He walks on water. I think we need the middle a little bit more than we need left or right now. And maybe Donald Trump is just a little sick and frickin' tired of his base and people constantly moving the goalpost on what success looks like. Because if you look at his agenda, this guy has knocked out pretty much the 20 things on Agenda 47 he's messed with. Leroy, your thoughts? Let's look at Agenda 47 after that, and we'll kind of check the boxes.
Sure. When the news makes a big scare out of somebody's health, especially the president or any other politician for that matter, I always tend to take it with a grain of salt. And you're right. There's going to be a lot of people on both sides of the aisle who are absolutely going to latch onto this and say, see, I told you he wasn't fit. But there's a very big difference between swollen feet due to circulation issues and somebody who was almost certainly suffering from some form of dementia or Alzheimer's or something along those lines.
Right.
Those are two very, very different things. And so, yes, I agree with you that if you're in Trump's corner 100% of the time, you can absolutely be seen as, a MAGA cultist or, whatever the case is, whatever the left wants to say that you are. It's far smarter, though, to kind of peel yourself out of that, go get yourself in the middle and question everybody, including maybe the president when he makes a shitty call. And that's why we're here.
Well,
I like most of the calls that he has done. But if we want to be honest about it, I haven't liked all of them. So I think it's fair. I think it's fair to be a little bit skeptical about the news in our leadership.
Yeah. Listen, and Mallory, that's the point I just made, is they call us a cult, but people are pissed. There are some people who are like really, really mad. I'm going to show you. There's Nick Fuentes, basically just estrogen overload, melted down. I mean, he popped a vagina. It was hilarious. It was ugly. It was really ugly. So I wanted to follow up with something. Is Terry King, who we absolutely love and adore, and said some prayers for earlier in the week, had a question, and I think it was Terry, pretty sure, who said, "Hey Matt, Donald, and I'm going to paraphrase. Donald Trump didn't talk about the Jeffrey Epstein on any of his rallies." Now, I want to be completely transparent here and honest. I've never said that Donald Trump ran on releasing Epstein files. In fact, I'm the one that's rallied against people and railed against people who've said that. He never ran on it. He was asked questions, podcasts, people talked about it at the rally, but it was in his speeches. And I told you last night that I would look up the rallies. And and you know what? What's funny is I was supposed to do it today, but I don't do that. I did it after the show. It was late. I mean, remember, we didn't even get off last night until almost 10:30. And of course, I looked it up because I care about the listeners and I want you to know. And I don't want to say things that aren't true. So I found two and I stopped. Because if you say there weren't any and I find one, then I've disproven the premise and I move on, right? But I found two, and it just took me a matter of minutes. Now, the thing that a lot of people don't understand is I'm really meticulous. Leroy's seen me prep for a show, but I keep a database of everything I talk about, and I keep a database of the things I collect. So every time I show you a picture or whatever, I keep a database of all those things. And when I talk about things, I then do minutes after the show, and I'll take 30 minutes after the show and kind of formulate what we talked about, the things I said, so I remember and know that way if it's ever thrown back in my face. But that's people like, well, how did you find something he said in a couple of rallies? Well, it's not that hard. The first thing I did is just went back to our shows, and I've watched these rallies that I could literally do the speech. I could do the speech. Because we've watched hundreds of them together, and it's always the same stuff. And he doesn't. If you've seen one Trump rally, you've seen them all. Let's be honest. But anyway, So here is just to, because we talked about this last night, I've got to do, and then I'm going to retract something I said last night. Here are the two. August 2019 rally in Monica, Pennsylvania. What he said, retweeted a Clinton body count conspiracy meme about Epstein's death right before the rally. Days later at the rally, he called for a full investigation into Epstein's death. November 2023 at an Iowa rally, at a rally in Iowa, Trump stated, "When I'm back in office, I will absolutely order the release of everything on Epstein. You'll see names, and it's going to be wild. It's going to be huge." So that's not running on it. That's addressing news of the day and making promises. And whether those promises are kept or not is ultimately, Brian donated $21.10. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian.
Whether those are kept or not is up to you during the course of his administration. But he did talk about Epstein, and it was never a major focus in his campaign. So let's go over the top 20 things of Agenda 47. And it's not me saying, nana, nana, boo, boo, stick your head in doo-doo, I'm right. But remember what I also said about the polls. He's going to take a hit on this, but I believe there will be a larger push for support in the short term. I think the base is more happy than they've ever been with Donald Trump, and we're starting to see that in the numbers, and I don't think this is going to hurt him long term. What will hurt him is the Democrats making the pedophile shit stick like they made Russian collusion stick. And silence is not a good idea right now. Transparency is the best idea right now. And I honestly don't care what's in the files. I don't release as much as you possibly can, because Donald Trump's name is there. Y'all need to understand that. There's thousands of people who've been named because there were people who accused Trump who were later found to be dishonest. Just like Dershowitz's name's in there and other people. They have Prince Andrew's name in there. They have Bill Gates' names there. There's a lot of people who've been accused, but the point is that you will find Donald Trump's name on the flight logs, but never to the island. You'll find it from Palm Beach to Newark. So we went to Bedminster for golf 6 times. You'll find nothing in St. Croix or anything like that. And also people accused him of things that weren't true. $100 donated by Frank Wood. Let's get this party started. Love it when Leroy is on some of the best shows. All right, Leroy, go ahead.
Thank you, Frank.
Hit that up, buddy.
Real quick, and I wanted to add something because this was something that you were just talking about. I went ahead and took a quick peek at all of his latest approval ratings, and it really is split right down the middle. You've got a 49-49, a 41-54, 48-50. And it's almost guaranteed. You can guarantee that is right down partisan lines.
No, but those are good numbers.
Yeah, they're not bad numbers.
No. It's not that they're not bad. Those are excellent numbers for a Republican candidate as volatile as him. Those are some of the highest numbers. His highest ever was during COVID, which was 52. I just want to make a distinction. I'm not interrupting. I just want to expand. I'm talking about Republican support. GOP support, this was a recent poll that came out from CNN, is that he's eclipsing almost 94%, 92%, and 89% respectively with his base. He's going up. Mm-hmm. That's all I want to say. Go ahead.
I think the farther away you get from his initial headlines that everyone seemed to be, trying to pin on the man that said he was going to be a dictator on day one, that he was going to cause massive inflation, bankrupt the economy, get us into wars. He was a hothead with the nuclear button. The more time that is placed between all of those statements and today, when the economy is in really, really excellent shape, when he has not become a dictator, when, people are seeing the successes, both in terms of their bank accounts and their gas tanks, as well as the price of eggs, I think they tend to be a lot more forgiving. They recognize that, that was all just scare tactics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I really do. So I just wanted to, first of all, Terry, that's wonderful news. Thank God. And second, I answered your question. I sent that to you on YouTube. I didn't go back and dig deeper. I don't need to, because I know what Donald Trump has said, and he never ran on Epstein, but he did make commitments on the campaign trail, which, listen, the way this is being handled is poor. And I think every single person can agree with it. This is poor.
I would agree.
And it's not like, now most of us would say, well, it's poor because he's trying to do something that we don't know yet. Yeah, I would buy that if Donald Trump hasn't done this many times before. Donald Trump tends to be his own worst enemy and usually is a very good at destroying when he owns the news of the day. When he has good news of the day, he does things and says things that ultimately change the narrative and the story, and that's not good. But also, when there's bad things happening, he also changes the narrative and the story away from him too. So
Sure does.
it's a win-win and a loss-loss. This is self-inflicted. And Pam Bondi has a lot to do with this. And this is why you haven't seen Pam Bondi on Fox or anywhere else. I guarantee you Trump pulled to the side and said, listen, I'm going to stand behind you, but you are done. You are the attorney general, your attorneys general. Yep. You're going to do your job and you're going to shut the fuck up on the circuit and be quiet. You're going to let my pundits talk and you're not going to say anything anymore. Okay? You're done. Because Trump's pissed at this. He's not happy. He is, you have trades coming in. You had a trade with Indonesia that didn't get into the news. You have a trade that's literally on the doorstep with the EU who are in town right now working. And this is 33% of our overall import exports. This is the biggest trade we do, even more than with China. And it's on the precipice. And he, he's trying to settle a war in Ukraine and Russia. He's putting leverage on Russia right now, really hard with tariffs and restrictions. And, he's trying to stop a war in Israel and Hamas and Gaza. The guy's trying to get the prices of eggs down and energy down. He's trying to do innovation. He's bringing in trillions of dollars of business. The price index is up. First quarter of the dollar was down 11%. It was only down 0.6%. He was back 0.6 up in wages. For the first time in 35 years, they just cut money out of the budget, which is massive. I mean, yeah, it's not a lot of money, but who cares? You're still talking $9 billion. It's the first time in 35 years it's been done. So he is doing amazing stuff along with bombing Iran and keeping peace from China going into Taiwan. Maybe he wants people just to say, Mr. President, good job. But it's like when I do my show and nobody's happy and I keep getting hit from people. Oh, that was good, but you need to do this instead. Or this was good. And you're like, fuck, man, do you know? That was the night when we revealed this show and people were like complaining. And I'm like, do you know what we just did? I get what he's going through. He's human. He's feeling it right now. And maybe for once he needs us versus we need him. And I think we owe it to him to demonstrate a little fucking loyalty. And you know me, I'm the one that's like, I'm not loyal to anybody.
Yeah.
Maybe we can show just a little bit of loyalty and say, or how about this? How about a little bit of deference or, hey, thank you, Mr. President, instead of we want more.
And something else to consider is that every administration has these types of hiccups, right? Back when it was Joe Biden, it was the Republicans trying to dig in on Karine Jean-Pierre and Jen Psaki.
Yep.
And, back before then, it was Sarah Palin. Everyone liked to dig in on her, or Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like, each and every administration has their easy to hit, hey, this person is a clown. This is why. And now that we've shifted all of the spotlight on that person, a lot of times amateur politicians, they just tend to crumble. And whether or not you want to see Pam Bondi as a politician or as the attorney general, don't really care. She's in that light. And when the president is basically your boss, right, and you have inadvertently conveyed some level of misinformation or maybe things that weren't exactly clear or honest, he has every right to say, hey, stop talking.
Yeah.
Keep your comments limited. Now we have to do damage control, and we were already in a pretty contentious situation.
Yeah, there's a very big difference.
Completely reasonable.
And I want to make sure I understand this. Mallory says, I seem to remember being lectured for 10 minutes over saying I was loyal to Trump. There's a difference to be showing fealty, and that's the word I use, not loyal. It was fealty. See, this is what my wife tries to do to me, and she fails fucking miserably. And you're not going to get away with it, Mallory. Fealty is the word that I said. So you change the word. Loyalty is what I have for Leroy, what I have even for you, Mallory. And I know you're not mad, and I'm not mad either. Loyalty is something that is given to somebody who has your best interests at heart at all times. And there's no way Donald Trump has my best interests at heart at all times, because that's impossible.
Right.
He can't be something to everyone. So loyalty is for a select few. Fealty is something you give a king, and he's not a king. And I don't appreciate anyone who demonstrates fealty or think he's anointed by God. I think that's dangerous. I think kings got away with usurping powers to peasants, to serfs, and even noblemen, and lands and taxes that were confiscated, and impregnating women based upon some sort of godly right. These things, fealty, I have an issue with. Loyalty is different. Now, I just remember what I said is you can't, no, you're not listening. I do, Mallory, you can roll the tape all you want. You go find it. I'm not going to waste my time. I've already wasted enough time on you. If I spent 10 minutes on this, then I'm done. Loyalty is not the same thing as giving somebody deference or loyalty and saying, I am loyal to Donald Trump. I'm not, and I never will be. And that's why I changed the word from loyalty to deference, or at least a thank you. But I'm loyal to Donald Trump's vision. I'm not loyal to the man. I'm loyal to his principle and what he's doing for the party. You're loyal to him because you want to kiss his ring. There's a very big difference between you and me. I don't want to kiss. If I never meet Donald Trump, I don't care. It would be cool, but I don't need to meet him to like his policies. I don't need to meet him to support him. I don't need him to be my friend. I need him to do what he promised. And as of thus, he's done that. So
exactly.
So maybe loyalty was the wrong word. I did say fealty because I remember the conversation implicitly. So just because I said the word loyalty doesn't mean I didn't say fealty either. There's a difference between the two. And if you look up the word loyalty, there's two definitions to the word loyalty. And we'll be happy to go through that after Leroy says something, and I'll read them to you so we can understand what they mean. Go ahead.
I would have only added to your point that I don't necessarily have to like Trump. All I have to like is when he scribbles down a policy, something that says, hey, we're going to cut taxes here, we're going to do this for the middle class, we're going to preserve the individual rights of such and such. If that's the policies that are put forth, doesn't matter who it comes from. Could have come from Joe Biden at that point, and I would have been like, all right, good on you, because that gives me more power over my own life and keeps the federal government on some type of leash to keep it out of my life as much as humanly possible, which is what the founding fathers wanted. So wouldn't matter who did it. In this case, just so happens to be Donald Trump, and good on him for doing it. But do I have to like him personally? Not necessarily.
And the thing that people need to understand is that loyalty and fealty are derivatives of the same word. So I am very cautious about saying loyal to a government official. So maybe I could have explained that better at the time that we were having our argument. But I did say king, and I did say he's not anointed by God. So I think when we talk about loyalty, it's important on the subject we're talking about. So how about this? Loyal. I'm loyal to God, I'm loyal to my family, and I'm loyal to my country. And I could say that I would demonstrate fealty to God, fealty to my country, and fealty to my family. Bobby Richardson donated $51.99. Love you all. Thank you guys. We really appreciate it when we come out early. Thank you so
much, Bobby.
Yeah, it's huge. So it's really important. So let's read this. Definition. Loyalty is essentially the state or quality of being loyal. It implies a steadfast adherence to a person, group, or principle. And I just gave you definitions of each. The synonyms are faithfulness, commitment, devotion, allegiance, fealty, and constancy. However, loyalty can also mean something outside of those three things in a basis of friendship, or the basis of business, or the basis of politics, and it takes on a completely different meaning based on the context. So when I say I'm not loyal to Donald Trump, but I'm loyal to his vision and I'm loyal to where he's taking America, that is very different from you and I. There's not a fealty quotient inside my loyalty to Trump. If Donald Trump is guilty of anything that people are now accusing him of, which he's not, because we know he's not, they would have released it. But if he is, there will be no abandonment of Donald Trump because I'm not loyal to Donald Trump. I will simply call the balls and strikes and tell you why he's doing what he's doing, and also tell you why he is no longer supporting the vision that I elected him for. There's the difference. But if my daughter or my son or my wife does something like that, I would have a hard time saying, based upon my loyalty and fealty to them, that I would not stand by them no matter what. There's the difference. Does that make sense, what I'm saying at all, or no?
It does. It does.
Mallory says, why are you constantly condescending to me? I was having fun. Your version of fun is exactly what I'm doing. I thought this was fun. You're saying I said something. I'm telling you and disagreeing with you. So when you say something, I should do what? Just say, okay. Text is a horrible thing. And that's why I try to encourage people to call. But we're having a conversation here. And you're saying something without saying, well, Matt, hold on a second. What's different between the loyalty I show for Trump and the loyalty that you show for Trump? Because there is a difference. And it should be declared, because I don't want to be misinterpreted. And I certainly don't want to be misconstrued. And I also don't want to be misquoted. I don't like it. It's rare when a person says, hey, Matt, you said this. And then I say nothing at all, because most of the time there is a misinterpretation based upon how I express myself or the way you interpreted it, period. And in this case, I believe there's a little bit of both, which is why I took onus of both. Now, if you're just kidding and I didn't see that, maybe you should say, hey,
JK
totally fucking joking. Totally joking. But when someone puts a laugh emoji, I don't know if you're laughing at me or you're kidding. So my interpretation is just say something and let me know you're just messing around, because I don't know if you're messing around. I'm looking at a text. But I'm not trying to be condescending to you. I'm trying to tell you the way you feel about Trump and the way I feel about Trump are two different things. That's all. And if it sounds condescending, I don't know what to tell you. All I could ask is, I'm trying to give you the answer that I thought you were looking for. And it seems to me that you just wanted to say something and snipe me a little bit, and you wanted me to laugh and chuckle. I didn't. That's it. It shouldn't be your first show. What did Pablo say? I don't know. He was hitting on somebody. I just got rid of him. Charity Lamb says, loyalty is earned, and even I would rather retain my right to choose at any time in any situation. Sure. And as a woman, you have a right to change your mind. It is better to call in. You can't have these conversations over chat. It's the worst thing ever. And Mallory, I adore you. I don't, this is twice now in 2 weeks, but this is what happens.
I think tone is just such a difficult thing to interpret when there is no inflection. It's just text.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just better to call in. But, and here's the thing. There's also a little bit of truth and humor when you, and just respectfully, it's completely just having a conversation now, which we shouldn't be having here. We should be talking about over the phone. Saying I'm lecturing you for 10 minutes, there's truth and humor, and that's condescending to begin with. So stop pretending that you weren't condescending to me. Okay. I'm done with this. I'm getting sensitive because I defend myself on a stage, and you take a lot of hits, you know. That's a condescending comment. That comment's not funny. That comment is personal. And you thought I was lecturing you. I don't think that's what I do, and I don't appreciate the characterization, if I'm being completely honest. So I don't know. Shit, garbage in, garbage out with me. If you act a certain way, I act a certain way. That's just the way I am. I've always been that way. When Leroy grabbed my testicles the first time I met him, I grabbed his too.
And it was nice.
Yeah, it was. It was a good time. Anyway, so, little hairy for my liking, and the vintage was a little piquant, but otherwise it was all right. So let's do this. Let's do this for the viewers, because I think it's important. 20 promises to the American people. Let's you and I rate this, shall we?
Sure.
Okay. Shirley Butler says JK equals just kidding. Hey, and Mallory may have said just kidding. I don't know. Let me see. You know what? Let me look. Let's look. Real quick. We agreed on the Colt thing. We also questioned the vaccine. Yep, we sure did. If Donald Trump were in an election today and we knew this about the Epstein crap, I'd vote for him again. Okay. I seem to remember being lectured for 10 minutes over saying I was loyal to the Trump, not mad. Okay, I didn't see the not mad. I probably said it too. You said loyal, Matt. Roll the tape. Yeah, there's one smiley. Yeah, so I think this is a classic case of text misinterpretation. I saw not mad, but by that time I was on lecture. You know what I mean? So I don't know what to tell you, Mallory. Hopefully you're not too pissed. You should call in next time. 20 promises to the American people: seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. How would you rate that? Let's. What do you want to do? You want to do a number scale? Or you want to do a letter scale?
Let's go letter scale. I think most people can kind of justify that based off of their experience in grade school. Easier.
Okay, let's go to video because it's gonna be easier. Because I think people are gonna. I mean, nobody wants to not look at you for that long. Let's be honest, buddy.
That's very kind.
Oh yeah. It's always so funny when all my stalkers, I've got pictures of people. All right, here we go. 20 promises to the American. Oh shit! I got to turn this brightness down. I'm gonna get washed out here. I literally am gonna vampire up. Okay, seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. And let's do this. Let's not do A B C D E or A B C D F. You know what? Let's do A B C D F. Okay, go ahead. You're first.
I'm going to say seal the border and stop migrant invasion. That's certainly has to be an A.
Okay, A, and write these down because you got to do the average work. You got to do the math. No, and I give him an A too, and I give him an A plus. I mean, that's a 100. I'm not. When you literally had like 9 reported gotaways, that's a 100 plus. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When you were dealing with 10,000 a day crossing over the border down to 6, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is incredible. All right, so then we've got carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. I'll go with this one, and we'll rotate. I'm going to say that's a D.
A D, really?
Oh yeah. It's not the largest deportation operation in American history at all. Obama's got credit.
I would have gone I was going to go with a C, but sure. Okay.
He's not deporting enough. I mean, they're talking about amnesty now. They're talking about DACA recipient. I mean, so a lot, the migrant workers, the people working in the restaurants, he's kind of backpedaled a little bit. This is not the largest deportation operation in American history. It's far from it. Now, and he's like, well, wait a second, the gotaways and the border crossings are lower. Yes, but there's still a shit ton of illegals here. Well, and then, people are going to be like, come on, Matt, that's not fair. The Democrats are fighting him at every turn. There's a lot of red states are not getting deports too. And I know because Virginia's not getting the level of deportations we need. And right now he's going to, based on the 4 years, it's going to be about 780,000 people. That's going to be one of the lowest. He did more in his first term than that. So if we want to make an impact, we got to get 3 to 4, 5 million people. That's how we do it. Okay. So Carrie, a B. Oh, come on, Carrie. Carrie, you've gotten so much better at this. Come on, a B for the largest deportation operation in American history, and Obama and Biden have deported more than him by far. Come on. No, he's not. Here you guys go defending him. He's not done yet. You know what? This was the one thing that he could have done on day one. He sealed the border on day one. Stop the migrant invasion on day one. Why are mass immigration? Why isn't mass exodus taking place? Why are these numbers so small? I'm asking a question. Obama's numbers included border. I don't care. I don't care what Obama's numbers are compared to why. If you get people out of this country and you deport people. And remember, Leroy and I talked about it last night. Obama's first term, he was all about anti-illegal immigration. He was all about a border wall. So was Hillary Clinton. They all were.
Yeah, I was going to say, Hillary Clinton was quoted as saying she wanted to construct some level of wall. Hell, so did Joe Biden when he didn't know that he was being videoed.
Carrie, why can't you Okay, so guess what? So seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. I'm supposed to say, well, wait, we have 3.5 years to go, so I can't give them credit for it based on your logic that it's only been 6 months. Is that how I'm doing this? How do you count the self-deportation people? They've counted the self-deportation people. But that's not a part of the largest deportation operation in American history. And by the way, I'm not including Obama's numbers from anybody caught at the border. I'm talking about people actually deported out of the country. And if you look at Obama's numbers, I think it was something like 4.5 million was the number, and that was without border. Joe Biden he did it in the first year. He deported more people than Donald Trump did in 2016 to 2020. So can we just stop? Because if you're going to say number one, I give him an A++++, 100%. But then you go, well, wait a second, it's only been 6 months. Well, then I get to say, you know what? These are all D's because it's only been 6 months and it's not 3.5 years. So therefore we can't rate them. This is a midterm. This is not even that. This is a first quarter progress report home to parents. Okay. Come on now. It's going to be an interesting night, man. I tell you, I'm getting a little hot under the collar.
I can tell.
People are pissing me off. All right. So what do you give them on the carry out the largest deportation in American history?
Oh, I thought we already did that. That's number 2.
I just want to make sure I know your score. Okay.
I gave him a C. All
right. I'm going to give him a D. Sorry. Make America the dominant energy producer in the world by far.
Oh, you skipped over 3.
Did I? Oh, end inflation and make America affordable again. Sorry.
Yeah.
You can never end inflation. It's impossible. There's always inflation. It might just be 0.02% like it was in the first 3 years of his presidency. But I will tell you this, inflation is the lowest it's been since 2017 pre-COVID, and it's continuing to drop. I'm going to make that a promise as kept, and I'm going to give it an A. Not an A+, an A.
I gave it a B+.
Okay, why?
I gave it a B+, and I'll tell you why. To your point, you can't ever completely end inflation. And in terms of making America, quote unquote, affordable again, I thought he's done a reasonably good job. Definitely not, anything below a C or anything like that. Is it an A though?
Oh, you know what? Okay.
Are we back down to, the gas prices that I can recall where, I can recall back when he was the first term president, gas being in the low $2 or high $1 range. I can recall a lot more flexibility in my checking account. And I'm not saying he's doing a poor job. I'm saying he's doing a damn good job, but it's a B+ to me.
Just making sure I got my double tang before I pull trigger.
Oh, Jesus. Really?
So,
really?
You know what I'm going to say?
There's no shadow there. You're firing at a vampire. There's nothing. There's nothing there.
I hate to do this to you, but you knew this was coming when we started this tonight. It's like Matt's in a mood. Respectfully, you and I sat here and told every single person on the panel that when Joe Biden hit 11% inflation, that it was going to impact this economy for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to be almost impossible to recover from in our current generation. Donald Trump has got it back to 2017 numbers. And I have to say that that's an A all day, because I don't think you or I even remotely thought it would be this quick. I think we knew it would come down. I think it may be around 4%, 5% for this year. But to see it drop where it's at, dude, that doesn't deserve a little. Can I take you from an 80, 85 to a 90? Can I get those 5 points from you, Leroy?
You know what? I actually wrote down a bunch of the numbers, and when I put down a B+, I put down an 87%. So I'm not joking. I am not joking.
Yeah.
87%. So it's funny that you say it that way, because I was like, I'm right there.
Give me that
3%.
Give me that 3. Give me that 3,
no,
dude.
It's mine.
25 years. 25 years. Okay, you would agree. How about this? That we have to give him an academic excellence award at the end of the year, like they give kids for economics.
Yeah.
We at least have to give him something, because this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, good. Then we agree on that. It's a 90. See, folks, I'm fair. I'm firm but fair. Okay. Make America the dominant energy producer in the world by far. It's your turn for grade first.
Actually, on that one, I gave him an A-, and I'll tell you why. And I know he's still fighting with it, and we are absolutely the dominant power in terms of energy, but the nuclear thing is still hanging out there, and I would like to see him.
Yeah.
I can't give him an A+ until we start construction of several new nuclear facilities.
That's going to be, that's going to be difficult. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. He may just have to live with my A-. Not like he cares, right?
Okay, so energy, I'm going to give him a gas prices. He's saying are completely down. They are down quite a bit. I think overall right now, compared to previous months, we've seen a 6% decrease on each month over the last 4 months. So that's like a total of 24% decrease in gas price. That's ridiculous. We've seen a decrease in cost of goods too. Are we, the key words, energy producer, the most dominant energy producer in the world? No, we're not. But we're importing less, we're producing more, and he has engaged the leases and the current American-based companies to drill, baby, drill. And those are the words. I think dominant energy producer isn't necessarily what he said. He was all about drill, baby, drill to become the biggest energy producer in the world. And I think he has executed the plan to this point. So I got to be fair to this point.
When you say we're not the dominant energy producer, who in your, who are you reflecting on that is producing more?
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Who's China buying their energy from?
They get a lot of it from Iran.
And?
I think they also get a lot of it from North Korea, coal.
And Russia.
Sure.
Who's Europe getting their energy from?
Russia.
Venezuela.
I know. Venice. Yeah.
Yep. Who does the United States buy the energy that we do buy from? Yeah.
The energy that we do buy from, a lot of it comes from Canada.
Yep.
And some of it comes from the Middle East.
Yep. Saudi Arabia. And so are we the number one energy producer in the world?
I think we are.
I think we are from a standalone, from everything, from natural gas to oil to probably.
That's what I mean.
Probably. Let's find out.
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because that's the kind of thing that I keep track of, right? And give me 1 second here, and I'll.
No, I already got it. U.S. leads in total energy production, including oil, natural gas, nuclear, and renewables. Yeah. It's the top producer of oil and natural gas globally. In 2023, the U.S. produced over 12.9. Okay, so this was already established. They were the most energy dominant in the world. So this has been established for quite some time. Is that what we're saying? Okay, yes. So it's a promise that's kept, but was already established.
Yes.
So I just don't know if we're trying to grade him here. That's why I said the drill, baby, drill. The drill, baby, drill was expanding on leases, wasted leases, overall restrictions on production, of reopening the Keystone Pipeline 2.0, stop the amount of exports or imports, and also expand the oil reserves, the petroleum reserves that we have in the United States, and get those refilled. As of now, the petroleum reserves have not been refilled. If oil continues to go down, I imagine a major buy like he did in 2018, which was genius. Mm-hmm. But so we can't do the dominant energy producer in the world by far, is my point, because it was already established. So we have to do the drill, baby, drill. And I'm still going to give him a good grade. You gave him, what, a B?
Well, Well, and again, most of my grade also came from the standpoint of nuclear energy still needs to be expanded. But prior, when we were the world's leading energy producer, maybe we had a margin like this. What
That's my
he
point.
has effectively done is grown that margin,
Well, that's
right?
because
Which,
Russia was taken out of the game. I mean, Nord Stream
yeah.
killed Russia. And let's face it, the Ukrainian war did that too. I mean, Russia was one of the most predominant energy producers in the
And
world.
while
Go ahead.
Russia was taken out of the game, to let our industry go by way of loosening up some of the restrictions and definitely allowing more for fracking,
Yeah.
I think has helped.
Yeah. Oh no, no. And that's the drill baby drill methodology. I mean, that was the breakdown. I broke it down for you, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like saying that the United States is the strongest military in the world because of Donald Trump. That's not true. He hasn't depleted those numbers or done anything to retract from those numbers. But we've been the strongest military in the world, even when Bill Clinton completely gutted us. You get my point?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So I haven't given you a score. So the dominant energy producer in the world by far. I've got to take this into a realistic standpoint, and I'm going to give him a B plus, because yes, that is true, but that's not just because of Trump. But the things that he has done has brought down the cost, increased production. Barrel of oil is actually slightly going up, which is good for Texas and good for other oil producing states. It's not going astronomically high, which isn't going to devalue and crush the market. It's not going to create a false positive. So I'm positive in all things. My energy bill went down, so I'm good on that too. Okay. But Mel says we're exporting more in first term than importing. Yeah, but we never imported a shit ton of oil anyway. The only time we imported a lot of oil was with Joe Biden. It was only like 11%. So the fluctuation really, Mel, is only about 4% north and south, and it's stayed pretty stagnant for the last 35, 40 years. We've always imported about 7 to 11% of our overall oil, depending upon which fucko is in office. So that's not that big of a deal to me. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to give you the straight poop. Once again, loyalty is not based upon if I like the man, it's his policies. Those are my grades and I'm sticking to it. I gave him one bad grade. The largest deportation in American history, it is not. Sorry. It's just not. Stop the outsourcing and turn the United States into a manufacturing superpower. This is where the EU is so important. And I will say that based upon the prognosis of in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I believe we'll have a deal with the EU before it hits August 1st, where those tariffs kick into place. Once again, it's 33% of our global trade. But the thing is that's manufacturing. That's computer parts. That's automobile parts. That's gears and gizmos. And that's what Europe is doing. And their industry is hurting. They are down 66% in overall production year over year because Europe cannot maintain this workload that they have. The world is demanding machine parts and they can't handle it. So this is his opportunity. The moment that this trade deal is done and this $243 billion trade deficit that we have with the EU is shrunk, that will then go into manufacturing. You'll start seeing that these data centers will be created and all these businesses that wanted to come in here and put money into our country. We're talking about a massive opportunity. So is the skeleton there? Yes. Is there some muscle and sinew and blood vessels? Sure. It needs to be skinned out. But as of right now, I'm giving this a very, very positive prognosis of a C plus now, with the potential in the next 3 to 4 weeks to be on the path to a strong B plus, and within the next 2.5 years being an A plus. That's my grade.
All right. I gave him a B, and I'll tell you why. When you talk about manufacturing, America kind of shifted away from manufacturing a long, long time ago. And when most people think of manufacturing, they tend to think of the cheaper stuff, either metal stamping plants, gears, things of that nature. We don't do a lot of that anymore. Oddly enough, what the United States is really good at is more advanced R&D designs. We do a lot of high-end production, and it's the rest of the world that has kind of taken on the much dirtier, the much easier parts to make. And a lot of that has come actually from places like China, places like India, Vietnam, and a lot of it is actually shifting over to places like Hungary and Poland. Um, we're not unlike Germany in that aspect. We do a lot of the high end. So when he says he's going to bring back all this manufacturing superpower, probably not to the same degree that you might think. Um, it's a great slogan. It's a great phrase. And certainly some things have come back, things that were once too expensive to have been made. The labor cost in China has sextupled in the last 15 years. So what has happened is a lot of those cheaper things, right? Rather than being made in China, they've shifted some of it to Vietnam, they've shifted it to Mexico, but those are all lower, much easier labor costs, right? So I would say it's a B. Some of it has come back, but not the stuff that you and I think of, or not the thing that most Americans think of when you're talking specifically about manufacturing, cheap manufacturing.
Okay. The longest B I've ever heard.
Sorry.
It sounds like you weren't. No, it sounds like you weren't confident in your B. It sounds like you wanted to give him a C plus, like I did, but you just couldn't justify it. It's just an observation. It doesn't mean I'm right.
You're not.
Whatever. We talked about inflation. Why can't inflation go down to zero? It's really simple.
You don't want that.
Yeah, you don't want that at all. Goods and services are constantly fluctuating due to supply and demand, labor costs, fuel, energy costs, trade, policy, all of it. It's a constant. It's literally it's like trying to land. It's trying to land a 747 on an aircraft carrier. So to balance all of that and to have it go exactly zero, you would have to have stagflation. And it's unstable and it's unmanageable and it's theoretically impossible. The reason why is that those complexities are constantly getting more and more evolved. Technology is increasing, costs increase, people increase, taxes increase. Global instability is the one constant. And if you have instability, then you're going to have fluctuation on the dollars. So the world is way too big to have the dollar remain the same like it was in the 1950s. And it did relatively stay the same for, almost, 100 years. Those days are over. We're a global economy.
What is the correct number for inflation?
2%. 2%. That's a good, healthy economy. And 2% is considered by most economists to be a healthy number. You can go underneath it, and that's fine. But then you can also have false bottom on that too. So you just have to understand is that Obama is a perfect example of stagflation, where you're not growing and you're not expanding and you're not fluctuating. So where there's no risk, there's no reward. And we saw that 8 years under Obama.
Yeah. Bigly.
So yeah. Anyway, so there we go. All right, number 6. This is fun. We're gonna keep doing this. Define what manufacturing to be brought back. Well, a perfect example is that if you look at pharmaceuticals and you look at microprocessors, those are two of the things that the United States did better than just about anybody, and we've completely lost that market. And those two things are going to absolutely kill us with the EU if we don't get a trade deal in August, because all of your prescriptions are going to go up 50%. Because we import more pharmaceuticals. 66% of our pharmaceuticals come from, everyone thinks it's China. It's actually the EU. So that's going to go up. So here's a prime example. Pharmaceuticals has left our bounders, our borders, and microprocessing, small chipsets, screens, LCDs.
Intel is getting ready to open their largest manufacturing center within the United States here in Ohio.
Yeah. So that's why. So there's two examples, right? So car manufacturing is increasing. We're starting to be able to do that because we're actually being competitive on the market. The incentives he's doing for taxes are going to also create car manufacturers to create more cars. First thing I thought of is like the next car I buy is going to be American because of the deferred interest.
You mean Toyota?
No, if you buy Toyota, yeah. Surprisingly enough, Honda and Toyota have more American parts. That's not true anymore, but it used to be for quite a while. Now, but this is what we're talking about: is you can't have an American car because all of the production left. So what Leroy and I are saying is that those coming back to the United States will truly make us an independent manufacturer. It'll lower costs in the long run. Yes, it's more expensive to make things in the United States, but when other companies can't come in here, they're going to drop their prices. And that's what we're seeing with the tariffs. Guys, I can't wait to get to the tariffs, but the tariffs thing, like Thomas Massey either needs to do one of two things. He needs to resign, one of three things. He needs to resign, he needs to commit seppuku, or he needs to apologize. One of those three. Because the scare that we got from tariffs, there are no reciprocal tariffs. You know the only reciprocal tariffs that we have going on right now? Canada. Our fucking gay North Dakotans are the only country that's penalizing us with massive retaliation. Everybody else has stopped and backed off. But the world is not punishing the United States. You want to know why? Because they know it's not fair. They know that they've been taking advantage of us for decades, and they can't listen. They're like, okay, we can lose the extra boom boom that we've had for all of these years, but we can't lose it all. And that's, you know, when you have someone who's cutting you a check for $10,000 a month, and they're like, listen, we're going to shave off 500 or 1,000, and you're like, oh, that's going to hurt me. It's like, well, it's better than zero, and you're like, you know what? That's a really good point. So let's just be honest. And I'm not saying, listen, I don't necessarily like what Donald Trump did with Canada. I understand everyone's upset about it, and I understand. Okay, I do. But I'm just saying, Canada should stop this, should remove these, but this is a pride issue now. And it's going to hurt Canada. You know, but it doesn't help that you guys got a freaking lefty in there. All right, let's move on.
Oh my God, he's terrible. Yeah.
Okay, large tax cut for workers and no tax on tips. This is you. You're first.
Oh, I'm first. Okay, that's number 6. I put down a B+ on that one. Completely on the no tax on tips and on overtime, but there are limits to it, and they weren't really well advertised. The limit to no tax on tips is after a certain dollar amount, and the same thing goes for
25,000
overtime. Yeah. So there is a limit, and it's not really well advertised. I wish you would have been a little more upfront about that. Large tax cuts for workers, that I agree with. And again, I gave him a B+ on this one.
So, no, it won't qualify for the rebate. They got to be made in the USA. They got to be American-based companies. Toyota and Honda are not American-based companies.
Right.
It's got to be Ford. It's got to be Plymouth, Dodge, you know.
Is Plymouth even still around?
I don't think so. I think it was absorbed by Dodge. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. AMC, GMC.
AMC. Now we're talking.
Yeah. Okay. So large tax cuts for workers. Listen, I have to give him an A on. The tax on tips thing is honestly a probe. So's Social Security, no tax. So's no tax on tips. So's overtime. This is a probe. And what you do is you test this. This is a flotilla. You're putting up a balloon, and they're going to test this to see how it overall works. And then after a year, if this is good, and then they can expand it. This is the exact same thing he did with tariffs. He put his toes in the water. We got positive return, and now he's going full bore in August. So I want people to understand is that, to me, that's the best it could be right now, because that's what was going to get passed. And you notice that Democrats aren't pushing back on tariffs as much as they have been. So you want to take a look at the big, beautiful bill, and there wasn't a lot of conversation and changes when it came to the tariffs, and they had that as leverage. They didn't do anything. So they wanted to work on immigration and ICE and shit and money funding for USAID and all that other, their wasteful spending. But they really didn't talk about tariffs. And the reason why is because they work. And that's why the entire Democratic Party pushed them back through in 2021 when Biden came back in office and extended Donald Trump's tariffs. Okay, so we know. The limits on tax on tips and everything else. Listen, folks, I don't think it was deception. I think he didn't lay out a plan in his rallies. He said no tax on tips. I understand what you're saying, but this is kind of like the read my lips thing. And this is kind of like, you know, like Inflation Reduction Act. You name bills and you name things because, hey, a $25,000 deduction on a standard itemized $75,000 annual income divided by 2 people equals a rebate of $5,000 cash back in your pocket on tips. That doesn't have the same ring to it, okay? These guys are politicians. I don't hold them accountable for that. I give him credit that you were going to have the single largest tax increase in U.S. history if we did not extend the tax cuts. You were going to see 46% increases in your taxes. That is the largest tax cut ever in U.S. history. He gets an A+++++ from me. I give him a solid A++++. Anybody that can put money back in your pocket and extend the child tax credits and give an average American household an additional $10,000 in tax cuts, I'm going to take that. And I'm going to say it's an A+. See, Leroy's the one who's being stingy now. Now, how do you guys feel? You guys
I am.
You jumped on the wrong ship. You guys you immediately went on Leroy's Johnson, and now you're like, oh, wait a second.
Oh boy.
Should have went with Matt because I'm right. He's wrong. No,
Whatever.
It's a different perspective. It's a different perspective is all it is. We're very, very close on our scores. But I think the tax thing is this was the largest tax increase in U.S. history. And by the way, that's also with inflation going down. That's also with having a surplus of 0.6%. That's the largest surplus we've had in, I didn't even tell you how long. You cut out $9 billion from the budget and passed legislation, first time in 35 years. You had $130,000 job surplus. You lost 33,000 jobs in the federal government, but the state increased 77,000 jobs, which is exactly what Leroy and I want. You're shrinking the federal government and you're having the state get bigger. Wonderful. That's what we want. So you know what? No, I'm not going to complain.
Something else that I wanted to add, because you make a really good point. I think it should be just throw this out there, right? When you're talking about large tax cuts for workers or large tax cuts at all, there's something called the Laffer curve, which basically says if you tax people too much, they end up not paying it. They will find a way to move their money into tax-free mechanisms. When you ease the tax burden on a society, the government actually brings in more money. And there's a sweet spot. It's around 33%. But I guess what I'm saying is when someone is talking about tax cuts, typically most Democrats tend to see this through the prism of, oh, the government's just going to be bringing in less money. That's not true. That's a fabrication. When you lighten the tax load, when you make it easier for people to do business, the government usually ends up making more.
Yeah. And remember, these tax cuts aren't segmented to one group of people. This forces the people who are living off the federal government to find work. And that's the lower income people are going to be harmed, not because of taxes, but because they are now being held accountable that if they are work-abled and able-bodied, that they must gain employment. This is going to help our economy as well, because we're going to be able to fill some of these jobs that nobody wants. Folks, the most ridiculous number I've ever heard in my life is 1 out of 5 adult males don't want to work. That's terrifying.
Oh,
that's terrifying. Mike Rowe talked about that last night. Thomas says, if you make $20K from the boss and $40K from tips, you have $60K, but you get $40K untaxed. Then a plumber gets paid $60K and he has to pay tax on all of it. Is that fair? I think all income should be taxed. And nobody should have any waivers whatsoever based upon income. I think tax credits are ridiculous. I think you need a VAT tax, a flat tax that every single person pays the same tax, and there are no deductions. You go in and
behind that.
Yeah, you give me a flat 2.5% tax if I'm over $1 million and I pay it, and you give me a 7% tax if I make under $500,000 and I pay it at the end of the year. And if I pay it early, I get a rebate. If I decide to pay my taxes at the beginning of the year, I get 1.5% back on an interest redux. That incentivizes people to give the government a little bit more money so they have to stop raising the fucking debt ceiling and we start paying down some of our debt. There's a lot of things I think. I think taxes are theft because they are, not because taxes are wrong. It's the way that the discretionary spending, indiscretion spending is absolutely out of control. That's why taxes are theft, not because of any other reason. I think a society needs to tax its citizens if the citizens expects the government to do something. That's the way services work in our country. It's called capitalism. It's the reckless spending I have a problem with. But let's do a VAT tax. And here's the thing, folks. That's where Trump is going with these tariffs. He's going to introduce a VAT tax because this is what he's doing. He's putting a flat tax on these countries. Okay, it will come here too. And he's going to basically say, here's the tax bracket. Because you make $12 billion a year, you're only going to have to pay 2.5%. But your 2.5% is going to be $300 million in taxes. But the person making $500,000, you're going to have to pay 7%. But you pay a lot less in taxes. Or you pay 5%. Because rich people should pay less. I'm sorry, they have more in the fucking VAT. They have more in the business. They own the NASDAQ, man. These people have made money. They're capitalists. They influence our world and our country to be stable. You and your plumbing business, although it's awesome and we love you and appreciate you, is not interdependent on our success as a country. And you're just going to have to understand that. Leroy, tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. And what I was going to say was, it doesn't matter how positive a change that is. The way it would be pitched from the left is, well, these are just tax breaks for the rich, and you're raising the tax on poor people. But nobody would ever say, "Oh my God, you're treating everyone the same."
Right.
And
the real. Go ahead.
And it was Thomas Sowell who said that once you've allowed preferential treatment to go on for so long, then fair treatment looks like it's prejudice. Right.
And here's the thing is that a business that's worth, $100 billion is one bad release away from bankruptcy. That is a very, very huge responsibility. And it can literally cripple economies, where a small business can take hits. We proved that with COVID. Yes, we lost a lot. And I'm empathetic. Listen, I'm not saying that the plumber doesn't deserve what they get. But here's the problem. When you have rich people who go ahead and say, all right, you've got to pay 30%, they just take their money and they invest it offshore. And we don't get those taxes. Or they use the tax code to manipulate it. With a flat VAT tax, you pay it. And you're going to see more money come in from bigger businesses than ever before because all the loopholes get closed and the tax code becomes as simple as a percentage. That's it. And if you could just put the tax code on one piece of paper, the United States would change forever. We would never have money issues again.
He talked about that at one point, making the tax code so simple that it can literally be printed on a 3.5x5 index card. For a while, he spoke about that, and it hasn't been mentioned in a while, but.
All right. Folks, do me a favor. If you haven't had a chance, please like, share, follow. I want to thank Patricia Good for buying the Constitution book. You're actually going to get mine because I've got one more left, and I'm going to sign it for you. And don't let me forget, Patricia, but if you want me to sign it, or she's like, I don't want your grubby signature on my stuff. But either way, if you do, Olivia and I will sign it for you and say thank you. All right, let's get going. This is
real quick.
Yeah, this is a longer segment than I thought, but I think this is fun. So let's go.
Yeah, no worries. I just want to add something. Hey, folks, next Thursday, our friend of the show, my friend, Matt's friend, and author of The Woke Mind Viruses will be on the show in studio next Thursday. T.S. Dixon will be in house next Thursday. Don't miss that episode. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And the really cool thing that we got, and we just got an email a couple hours before the show, which we're really excited about, is that Jenny, who is the publicist for T.S. Dixon, and she is going to be at the MAGA event and Make America Healthy Again in Washington, D.C. And she's going to leave early and drive over to our house and meet us because she said, I've heard such good things. I want to meet you. She's a publicist, and she has also some very successful and powerful other influencers and authors and doctors and other stuff. and she wants to meet us and see the studio and be here. So she's coming as well. So we're pretty stoked. This is a big opportunity for us, and we can't wait to have TS here. And we're going to go to our favorite restaurant and have some amazing dinner. So, okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay, next thing. Defend our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our fundamental freedoms, including freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to keep and bear arms. Well, I'll take the first one. Silencers, no additional tax. No penalty tax, $400, $250, $500, depending upon what state you live in. That's amazing. Did he repeal did he remove the bump stock ban too? Yes, he did.
I don't
He
know
did.
if he did.
Yeah, he did. He wrote an executive order for it. I don't know if that fell through or not. Hi, buddy. Thanks, pal. But that's I have got no problems with where we are at from a constitutional standpoint. I just have to give him a big, beautiful B+, because I think he just kept the status quo. He just kept it where it was. Now, I love I didn't say silencer, suppressor, excuse me. I'm so sorry. I can't fucking believe I said that. But suppressors, I think that's an amazing thing. Other than that, it's not really anything else. Now, hold on a second. That's not true. There's been conversation of constitutional carry. There's been challenges in New York and other places to lower the restrictions for reciprocity and allow other states to push forward with having multi-state CCLs, concealed carry permits, transfer into those states. None of that has come to fruition yet, but there's been some major Supreme Court wins on the Second Amendment. So I'm going to give him a solid B+. B+.
I gave him an A-, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
When you're talking about, you spelled it out beautifully. The fact that there's going to be no tax stamps that are going to be required on suppressors. He did, in fact, repeal the bump stock initial issuance. We're hearing more and more.
He did. He did. I got that right?
Yeah.
God, I love my brain.
That he has really kind of leaned back on let the Supreme Court do their thing, and they have found a lot of policy that is in favor of the citizen, and I am all for that.
Dude,
so
Tommy,
I gave him an A- on that.
Tommy Cawthon gets a freaking valedictorian Kuma Su Laude for the comment of the night. Mike Lynch, no one listens to ex-hosts. So good. I mean, just right in the balls. Oh, Mike Lynch.
Wow.
Mike, you can call the therapy hotline at 1-800 I just got wrecked. Oh, that was funny. Right when Matt said right to bear arms, I thought of you, Amy, and your suggested selling self. All right. It was perfect. It was a crushing blow. It was just like, get over here. Fatality. All right, next one. Prevent World War III, restore peace in Europe and in the Middle East, and build a great Iron Dome missile defense shield over our entire country, all made in America. Leroy, you go first.
He walked into a situation where the Ukraine had already popped off. China had been threatening Taiwan for years.
Yep.
The Middle East was already at a boiling point. So for him to walk in and kind of start to iron things out there, and it's going to take some time, but on that front, I'm giving him a solid B+. I would say that I completely agree. There's no threat, a real threat to any sort of nuclear weaponization for World War III. Restore peace in Europe and in the Middle East. I think those things are still pending, right? And so that's why I'm giving him a little bit of the credit, benefit of the doubt there. Great Iron Dome missile defense shield over our entire country.
It
did get funded, and I happen to know people who are working on that. So again, B+ for me. I like it.
Yeah. So Tommy says, and I when it comes to this, I listen to Tommy when it comes to firearms, says NFA firearms refer to weapons regulated under the National Firearms Act. That's 1934, I think.
Right.
It imposes strict controls on certain types of guns and firearm accessories. Machine guns, short-barreled rifles, short-barreled shotguns, suppressors. sawed-offs, everything else. Good. Get rid of him. I'm sorry. If the U.S. government wants to move to semi-automatic rifles, then great. Then we should have semi-automatic rifles. Now, do we need cannons and tanks? No, but I think there's no reason that I can't have.
Hell yeah, I do.
Well, you do. I don't think there's any reason that I can't have a fully automatic weapon. I'm qualified. I know how to use it. And it's safe in my hands as a semi-automatic. And honestly, me and my M1 does some pretty fucking deadly damage as a semi. I'm not worried about me with a fully automatic weapon. And honestly, the honest to God truth is most operators or most downrange guys or most anyone who is even remotely scratching the surface of being qualified in large or small arms firearms training will tell you the following. Most guys aren't going to use full auto anyway.
No, they won't. It's a waste.
Just semi-auto is just fine. And the only reason you're going to go full auto if you're trying to suppress the enemy or you're in a close quarter situation where there's more than one and you can't aim at just one. So those situations are variable, and a shotgun does an amazing job for the latter. And semi-auto, it can be just as effective as keeping someone pinned down. So I don't need full auto. They're fun though. They're certainly fun. Yeah, 3-round burst is fantastic, extremely effective, especially in CQC. Especially in CQC. In fact, most people in a CQC environment don't want an AR or an M4. They don't want anything like that. They don't. Shotgun's decent, but honestly, a pistol is amazing for CQC. And if you look at most active shooters, the ones that aren't outside or on range are brought down by a pistol. Full auto's fun. Yeah, full auto's fun. C4's fun. Semtex is fun. Tannerite's fun. All those things are fun. But I don't. But within limit. Here's my thing. You should be able to own all those things for fun. You should not own all of those things for stockpile, and you should not own all of those things for no reason. I'm sorry. I think there's something about. Sir, why are you buying the C4? I don't need a reason. Okay, you know what? You're going to come talk to me. I think it's important in the state of the world today that people should not have unlimited access to explosives. Haven't we seen how that works? Haven't we seen the Middle East? Do we really want to go back to the Timothy McVeigh? Yeah, we don't want to go back to Timothy McVeigh, do we? I can't believe we both were going to say the same thing. Do we want to go back to the original Twin Towers bombing? Do we want to go back to these things? No, we don't. So you can have it for a reason, and the reason should be fun, and we should have fun levels. You want to buy a quarter pound of C4? Go for it. You want to buy a pound of C4? Go for it. You want to buy 100 pounds of C4? Yeah, you need to come and talk to me before we do that. Okay, good conversation. This is a wonderful conversation. End the weaponization of government against the American people. Number 9.
I think you need to go first on that.
I am. I'm thinking. Yeah, this isn't over. So I think for the first, once again, we have a time frame situation. In the first 6 months, we are doing better. DEI is collapsing. School boards are actually coming to their sense. We're stopping to put men and women's sports. I think a lot of these things are good, but I still believe that they are using the courts as a weapon against Donald Trump, against his executive orders, and which ultimately affects the people. Like if Donald Trump leaves office tomorrow, do we feel that we will have a government that protects us and doesn't limit our speech? No, there's not one person. So you can't say that it's actually changed. It's better with Trump in office. It's going to hopefully get some legislation passed where we can stop it having these school boards have these ungodly tyrannical rule that you can have people in the community vote to do, an inquiry into the board or remove people from the board from a temporary status or vote people off with a crisis of faith or a vote of no confidence on these people. I think these type of things need to be implemented at the state and local level, but that's not the federal government's job. So I think it's impossible to give this one anything other than what it is right now, which is we have limited until the Bill of Rights and all the provisions that have been against 1 through 9. Actually, it's only 3. So it's 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 have been limited. Until all of those provisions are removed from the Bill of Rights, we will always be suppressed by the U.S. government. So I still have to give this a C.
I think you and I are in complete agreement. I gave him a C+. I felt like there's been enough stress on the government over the last, ever since he came back into office, to really push back on some level to make the courts defend their position or not. And so far, the Supreme Court I've been mostly in agreement with it, but there's still a lot of work to go. It wasn't that long ago that the Supreme Court finally ruled on the idea of injunctions that local judges couldn't, or federal circuit court judges couldn't put a Trump policy in a complete, holding pattern for any period of time. And I do feel like there's still a little bit of a minor war going on from the government's perspective, left-leaning government cities, to take away the rights of the citizens within those cities. Gavin Newsom was just on the Sean Ryan show, and he actually spoke about it. He actually, he sat there and said, I really wish there would be more checks when someone is buying a gun. So what did Sean Ryan do? Gave him a gun.
Yeah. He's a piece of shit. I love it how he's like,
He is.
I'm not. You proposed an amendment to restrict everything down to semi-automatic and 9mm. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Burn in the lower ring, buddy. Folks.
C+.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Carrie, I like your scoring. You're starting to speak my language. I appreciate it. Folks, Leroy's in the house tonight. Got it. Love it. Flew all the way down from Ohio. His arms are tired for sure. I like this. We're going to do this from now on. This is when you guys are remote, we're doing it this way. The only problem is you got to stop reaching way past your camera because it cuts your arm off. So, folks, we'll be right back. Please listen to this message. Pee break for everybody. We're an hour and a half in. You deserve a pee break. Goal, just to let you know, this little infomercial that we do is 2 minutes. It's actually quite funny. Give it a listen. Please continue to share, if you could, on Twitter and other places. Help us out. We're at 173.09. We've got, we're more than halfway there. Let's see if we can help get that number up a little bit. We'll be right back. Go get your pee break and then laugh at this video.
Hi, I'm Olivia Spear, host of The Dumb Show. For 3.5 years, we never asked for donations, but after Facebook demonetized us for speaking the truth, we've had to turn to the one thing big tech can't cancel: you.
I'm Hayden, Matt and Olivia's daughter. This show's never chased sponsors or sold out. We've built something honest, and it's thanks to you.
I'm Ethan, their son. Every share, every dollar, every message, you're the reason we can keep calling out the BS and bringing color back to the world going gray.
If you want to help, we take PayPal, Venmo, or snail mail. You can send it to P.O. Box 2, Round Hill, Virginia 20142.
Can't donate? No problem. Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored. You can donate at thedumbshow.com/donate.
You know what happens when you turn the dial harder? You can make a harder grimace. The harder you grimace, the more effective it is.
You tighten it so frickin' I can't do it. I can't untighten
That's
it.
what she said.
That's what she's. Oof. Oof. Coming in with it. Pound it. Pound it.
Ugh.
Pound.
Child
Good for
is 15.
Ethan, you look like a hippie.
You know this is recording, right?
Okay, let's go. Smile. Donate. Don't start with me. Donations. Every time you don't smile, I'm going to punch you in the ribs. Donations. Take one. Scene one. Ready. Set. Ethan.
Break.
Ready. Don't screw it up.
Okay.
Ethan, don't mess this up. Ready. Set. Action. No. Whoa. Director calls action, not some stupid toddler.
But we've built something
There's no
honest.
but there. Why do you've been doing this since you were 2 years old. Try it again.
Just share the show with someone who needs to hear it.
He's so much better than you. At
It's
everything.
better at all. Than all of
Hayden,
us.
he's just like, even, it's just, go ahead, Hayden.
Thanks for helping us stay loud, proud, and completely uncensored.
That's a wrap. Well done, Spear family. I bet we make no money.
But I'm gonna owe them money without.
Hayden, do your thing again.
Oh, yeah, cut it.
Baby shark, doo 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 doo.
Thank you, folks, for watching.
Matt,
And
congratulations on your success,
We're not
brother,
doing
and,
that. We're not.
really-
No. Shh, 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 shh. Eli, be quiet. Appreciate it, everybody. Hopefully, we can close the gap. I can't see donations. Olivia takes care of that. So if you want to, you go to thedumbshow.com/donate. You can give with PayPal, credit card, debit card, Venmo, PayPal, all of it. It's all there. And it's really simple. If you go there, just go and type in the number you want, say a little message, and we'll read your name off. You don't want your name on, that's fine. By the way, I was just doing a little history on Mallory Klondike. Mallory, this isn't the first time we've had something like this take place. I've sent you several messages. I just went back and looked over the break because it bothers me when viewers get upset with me. And I want to make sure it's not me. This isn't the first time. And I think your name's Rhonda Edwards, actually. And I know who you are. And you've had multiple accounts. So I don't know what's going on. But if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I just looked up your account and it says Mallory Klondike, but it also says Rhonda Edwards. So I'm kind of confused. But this isn't the first time. So just maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just not your cup of tea. Maybe, hey, I'm not everyone's brand of vodka, and I'm completely aware of that. I hope that's not true because you are cared for, but just maybe don't be so sensitive, you know? Okay. Maybe I need to not be sensitive too. I don't know. A couple of people, usually people tell me, Matt, you're being a dick. But people are like, wow, he sounds like he's being respectful. I thought I was. End the weaponization of government against the American people. We've moved on from that. That was our last one. Now we have the stop the migrant crime epidemic, demolish the foreign drug cartels, crush gang violence, and lock up violent offenders. You know what Riley says? Leroy's actually in the studio. He's not. Did you see that? Look at this. Watch this transition.
I did.
It's so cool. So watch it. Just look at that. No, he's not in the studio. Our boy is literally. Wow, Leroy, come on, seriously.
I look amazing.
You
make me look amazing.
He's on the West Bank. He's on the East Bank.
The only person who've made
West
me
Bank.
look even better than Barry is Matt.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
Welcome.
We do need to get your new camera, and I'm waiting for you to just give me the green light, and you're set when you're ready to go. So tell me when that happens so I can get you set up with that. And we'll get you all purdy. All right. Because he's a handsome devil. He really is. That camera doesn't do him justice. All right. So let's speed this up a little bit because we do have some news we need to get to. So let's put a timestamp on this of 9 minutes and let's just go.
All right.
Number 10. Give him a grade. Number 10. Go.
A-. I think he's done a fantastic job. He has done everything on that line. He has helped to stop the migrant crime epidemic, demolish the foreign drug cartels. He's actually listed them as terrorist organizations, crushed gang violence, and locked up violent offenders. Alcatraz, Crocodile Alcatraz, or whatever the hell you want to call it. He has waged a war against violent criminals. I'm for it.
The drug cartels is a little for me. I mean, but listen, with what he did with the opioid epidemic in 2017 to 2020, and what he has done for the fentanyl crisis, fentanyl numbers are down. It's not where we need to be. I'm going to give him a B+ on this, B-, somewhere in between there. Let's just give him a flat B, and I'll call it good. Number 11, rebuild our cities, including Washington D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful. Again, this isn't your job. So no, you haven't done any of that, and you honestly shouldn't. So this is an NA. This is an incomplete, an INC. This is you dropped out in the middle of the first week. This is just no grade. There's no grade on this because you're the president of the United States. You're a federal government employee. You're not. It's not your responsibility to fix cities. Right? We both agreed.
I gave him a D though. I did give him a grade.
Okay, I'm not going to give him a grade because it's just something he can't do. It's a promise that he cannot fix. Now, he can make the economy better. He can give them resources and help out, but he's actually limiting because he's like, I'm not giving you any more money. He just took Gavin Newsom's light rail away. That's been a complete money suck. So good. So some people argue that by him removing the funding and the wasteful spending, that will help the cities in the long run. It certainly helps the federal government. No grade.
Yeah.
Strengthen and modernize our military, making it without question the strongest and most powerful in the world. 100%. I like this is an A+ for me. Recruiting numbers are up in every single branch. Military investment is up. Defense contractor spending is up. Contracts are being fulfilled. Innovation is happening. The new investment in drones, the new investments in aircraft, the new Golden Dome. The fact that we're using 35-year-old technology with a B-2 fucking bomber and they're still able to be completely undetected. Win. I've got no problems.
Actually, I gave him a solid B, not a B+, a B. And I'll tell you, hold on, let me justify it.
Jeez.
The one area that United States needs more help in more than anything else is its shipbuilding capacity, and we're not there yet.
Yeah,
so
you're right. You're absolutely right.
So when you're talking about, new missiles that have come online, or the F-35 or the F-45, whatever the hell 47 is what he called it. Absolutely. He's crushing it. Space Force. He literally, the dude, invented a new branch of the military service. Amazing. But the one thing that we need is more Navy ships. So solid B+ for me.
But hold on a second. I'm sorry. I got to challenge this one because it's not the Navy ships that we need. First of all, because aircraft carriers are more susceptible to hypersonic missiles, we assume, and they are kind of going the way of the dodo. But submarines, when we were listening to Mike Rowe last night, you really need to listen to it. It's amazing. But he talked about it, how they need right now 147,000 electricians, certified electricians to work on submarines and military aircraft. And it's not that they're not getting the funding. It's that they don't have the electricians. They don't have the welders to actually build this. So Donald Trump, if you want to do something incredible, take a portion of the defense budget and actually give people trades in welding who can specifically pick their duty station, specifically stay in state, go to their boot camp, come in, stay in Virginia, stay in Maryland, stay in all the major shipyard areas, Norfolk, and allow them to go ahead and serve without serving combat and weld and be electricians, get trained, and give them a 4-year contract. And when they come out, you give them $100,000 to start up their own business, whatever it is. But if you want to do this, you have to incentivize this. You have to make dirty jobs and the blue collar jobs sexy again. And the only way to do this is to incentivize through the military. It's why doctors join. It's why pilots join. People use the roadway to get certified for being pilots through the military because it's faster than doing it through civilian. It is a great stepping stone. So if you want to empower people to get jobs, hire Mike Rowe, have him put together a package to incentivize blue collar workers to join the military, but not have to go overseas. Stay home with their families, put them on the base, and I promise you, you will have 500,000 people join the military. Give them the same benefits, give them the same rate and pay, and let them come in and learn the trade. You'll have 500,000 people join the military tomorrow. And you will not get it today, but you'll have it 4 years from now. And the best way Mike Rowe put it, he's like, where are all these people? Where are these 250,000 people we need in trades? And he's like, they're here. They're just 7 years old. And now you need to go get them. It's a great line. Great line. Love fucking Mike Rowe.
He's amazing.
He's a genius.
Amazing.
I'd vote for him in president in 2 seconds. 2 seconds. You want to talk about loyalty?
Absolutely.
I'll kiss the ring. I'll kiss the ring.
For him, I would. And
I would too.
His emphasis on blue collar work over this idea of being duped. He had a quote the other day. It was might have been from yesterday, where he was talking about those same programmers that everyone pushed for years and years and years. Those jobs.
Mel Lowe donated $51.99. Good God. Sorry, you got to look at those. I'm sorry, buddy. Mel Lowe, $51.99. If we don't do it, we'll miss it because we don't have Olivia. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Bill.
keep helping. Thank you, everybody. Sorry, Leroy, go ahead.
No, you're fine. What the hell was I saying? Oh, he was pushing on the idea for the blue collar work. When he said that the world had been duped, or that the United States anyway had been duped into trying to get our kids to become programmers in this white collar work. All of that is now being directly threatened by AI. AI can now do a lot of the work that we were trying to get these kids to do. And the one thing that AI cannot replace is things like welders, shipbuilders,
Yep,
electricians,
that's what he
plumbers.
said. Yep.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And I love that you listen to Mike like I do, because we watched it last night. That's exactly what he said. He said, you know, it's all the last 10 years is pushing coders into the workplace. Coders. Well,
Right.
AI is coming for coders' jobs. They're not coming for the pipe fitters. They're not coming for the plumbers. They're not coming for the electricians.
Exactly.
I'll be honest with you. I got to work with my hands in this room, and I just to let you guys know real quick. We're almost done. Hayden and her boyfriend are building the computer desk to bring one of the computers in. Liv, come on in. Sorry. Here. Xfinity, hi, my name is Matthew Spear. I'm the account holder. My wife has complete authorization to talk on the account.
Get that?
My wife can, but I'm not going to do that. I'm on live with hundreds of people right now. I can't give you my personal information. My wife can give it to you. Yes, it's Spear. Last name, first name, Matthew. Yeah, and if you have any questions, look me up in Comcast database. I work for you as a vice president. Okay. Anyway, fucking people.
Wow.
Power. Did you hear what he said, though? He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I do want to show you guys something real quick. And hold on one sec. So this, just real quick, and the whole reason is because we're always transparent with you guys. So Leroy, this is the old office. This is the old podcast room, buddy.
Yes.
And there. Now the desk is going to go right there with the Mac on it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And oh my God, the walls, it got so torn up. So there's that. And yeah, that's it. So this is going to be the green room.
Looks really nice.
Yep. It's the green room for the show. So people will go in there. There's going to be a little whiskey bar in there, and they can sit down and have a little refrigerator, sit down, read books, or play the piano, or surf the internet to do research. And that's the one right next to the main studio. So that is officially
that room looks so nice.
Yeah. So it's going to be really fun to have the green room there. And we imagine
they say taupe is very soothing. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know. Yeah. I was like, I'm not sure if that's it. But dude, the walls oh my God, when we took off all that tile and all that linoleum, oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Dude, everything got ripped to shreds. And we had a guy come in. He's like, yeah, we're going to have to replace it with $800 worth of drywall. I'm like, never mind. I'll learn how to spackle, and I'll do it myself. But this is what it looked like when we hit it the first time.
Damn.
So that's what it looked like, and had to smooth all that out. And here's the patch jobs that we had to do from all the nail holes, from all the tile and the wood and everything.
Right.
So it was a chore, but man, it was incredible. Amy, be safe. Get out of there. Be safe, please. And she's got to go check on her husband too. You and Olivia have good taste in decorating. That's all me. It's all me. Olivia doesn't do any of it. And it's not to throw her under the bus.
Wow.
She'll be the first person to tell you. No, she works her butt off, but she doesn't do any decorating. Like I decorated the whole house. It's not. Anyway, listen, AI has its place. AI is a tool. Just like the internet's a tool. Just like the printing press was a tool. There was a time people thought printed books were sacrilegious. So you got to understand it's a tool. So, all right, let's get to the rest of this, man. We got to finish that. I like this list, and there's some other things we got to get over. And if you got to go at any time, let me know.
No, you're good.
Folks, we're at 225. We have $75 more to hit goal. Let's crush it, please. I'd love to hit it before 9 so I can stop talking about it. Keep the U.S. dollar.
13?
Yeah, keep the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency.
That's me.
Yeah.
That is a solid A. for a while, the U.S. dollar has been a little bit on the decline, which, everything kind of goes in lags. So we're still kind of dealing with some of the effects from the last administration. But the fact that he has strengthened the U.S. economy to the point that he has also means that when you think about it in terms of what country can supply a dollar that can replace the U.S. That can replace the U.S. dollar as the world reserve currency, you can't come up with one. And if anything, he has helped strengthen that position. So a solid A for me on that one.
Hold on a second. Amy says, my husband is fine. He died 31 months ago. I didn't say your husband. I thought I said your son. You said your son was caught in traffic and in the storm, and he was out in the storm. That's what I thought. And if I said husband, that was a Freudian slip. I very well aware, Amy, that you lost your husband if you're talking to me. If you're not talking to me, please let me know, because I feel like dog shit. That was you don't need to tell me that. I'm aware. And if you're not talking to me, let me know. I thought I said your son, but it gets busy. Plus I was interrupting Leroy. Yeah, I mean, look at quarter one, the dollar was down 11%. That is a massive blow. Yeah. But over the last 3 months, it's been 1% or less decline, which is year over year a good thing. So the trend is going in the right area. The dollar is always a lagging indicator. It is never an outlier to show false numbers. It's a lagging indicator. Whatever you do today affects the dollar 120 days to 6 months from now. Okay, well, I didn't mean to say husband. It's a mistake. Folks, I'm busy. I'm running a show and trying to get money, and I meant son. I think everyone knows I know that Amy's husband is deceased, and you just can't catch a break. No matter what you do, you always fuck up somehow. So yeah, anyway, keep the US dollar as the world's reserve currency. But yeah, I don't know. Fight for and protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts, including no changes to the retirement age. You can go ahead and do this one, buddy.
Yeah, on this one, I'm going to go with an A-. The best explanation is the fact that he has done so much to try to tamper the current spending habits or the former spending habits of the government, that anything that you can carve out of that means that is potential money that is thrown back in the coffer to help elongate the life of Social Security and Medicare. So again, A- on that.
It doesn't matter if it's intentional. You're always gonna get the riot act read to you, and it doesn't matter. You can't make a mistake. It's so tiresome. It's just so fucking. Even when you try to do the right thing with people, you're still wrong. This is why people don't engage with the audience sometimes. And tonight's a perfect example. No matter what you do, you're fucking wrong. You're always wrong. It just gets exhausting. It's just so fucking exhausting. I was enjoying tonight. Cancel the electro vehicle mandate and cut costly and burdensome regulations. He certainly cut the mandate. Yeah. What else? I mean, regulations on
some regulations.
Yeah, that's.
I remember what he did in his first term. I don't know what has been added to that in the second term. During the first term, he literally took the National Register, which is the rules and regulations that every business needs to abide by, and he cut like 35,000 pages out of it.
Yeah.
I remember John Stossel had done a really good piece on that.
He did.
So when you fast forward to this term, I don't think he has done that, and it could be that he just hasn't done that yet. But he's done that in the past, so I'm going to go ahead and give him the credit for this one and go with a solid B+.
Oh, you didn't read the donation.
Bobby Richardson says, even my son likes your show. Love y'all. $51.99. Thank you so much, Bobby. You rock, lady.
There it is. Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate it. 277.07 is where we're at. I'm done giving grades. I just want your opinion. Mine sucks. Cut federal funding for any for school pushing critical race theory, radical gender ideology, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content on our children. What are your thoughts?
A-. I think he's done exactly that, or at least he's tried to execute that to the best of his ability. And I thought he's done a good job. Everyone, especially everyone on the left, had thrown an absolute hissy fit. The tantrums that came from the left over the last year and a half about books or drag queens in schools, that kind of thing, has been hilarious to watch. But they also don't belong in schools. So yeah, I'm with this. This is good.
Keep men out of women's sports.
Hell yeah.
Hell
yeah.
Seems so far. Grade? What do you think?
A- on that one. I think it's still happening to some degree, but that's
Sure.
mostly in pretty isolated cases.
Yep. Deport pro-Hamas radicals and make our college campuses safe and patriotic again. Yeah, that's going to take a lot.
Not sure on that one.
Let's just assume. Yeah, we're going to move on. Secure our elections, including same-day voting, voter in. Nope. F.
Yes,
F.
done it.
F.
Has
F.
not
F.
done
F.
it.
Secure our
Sean-
elections, including same-day
Sean
voting,
Hannity.
voter
ahead.
identification, paper ballots, and proof of citizenship. F.
Yeah, Sean Hannity actually talked about that one today.
That was,
and
yeah.
I will occasionally throw these jabs out as an anonymous poster on some political platforms. The nice thing is that when it's someone like a Donald Trump in charge, right, who's the lightning rod, and people either love him or hate him, you can go ahead and throw this question out there and see how many people react. Do Democrats currently hold the idea that there needs to be Mr. Hollandaise donated $41.69, says virtual live Leroy, looking good. Thank you very much.
I'm going to do that from now on when they pop up when you're talking. I just have to. We can't miss them because I won't know what they are. Good job. Thank you, Maddie. Go ahead.
It's okay. What the hell was I saying? Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
Score. Just give me a score so we can move on.
Oh, C.
C.
Minus?
He hasn't done one. Dude, come on. He hasn't done one
C
thing
minus,
for
man.
it. He hasn't done any of these. He hasn't done anything for this. There's nothing. There's no voter ID. There's no. There's
talked about it. He's at least brought the issue to light.
No,
I'm
he
gonna
hasn't.
go C minus.
I
I don't want to
disagree.
fail the guy.
I did. F.
Maybe.
You gotta-
You know
Oh
what?
my
I
God, he got
completely
one
ignored the
F.
idea of a
God
D.
forbid. Unite our
Put him in a
country.
D.
Okay. Unite our country by bringing it to new and record levels of success. I think half of it's really good. I think we need more time.
Yeah.
If we're going to rate 6 months, we're going to rate 6 months. I'm going to say, listen, stock market's at an all-time high. Wages are up. The taxes have been decreased. Big, beautiful bill has been passed. There's a lot of good things. I don't know what else to say.
A 6-month track record. I'm going to go with a solid A minus.
Yeah. There's a lot of potential there. Brian Scott says, I try to donate with my card and it said it's got to be connected to my wallet on my phone. It's if that's not enough, son gets me a new phone. Hell, I couldn't use the others. Listen, Brian, the best way to do it is to get you on the phone with Olivia. Can I have Olivia message you personally? Would that be easier? Olivia, can you hear me? So hold on. Hey, Liv. Come here, pumpkin. Please.
Want me to do it? I mean, I look like I'm right
Can you
there.
reach out?
Hey,
Can
Liv?
you reach out? Can you reach out to Brian Scott? Oh yeah, you do. Hey, Leroy's gonna call you. Go ahead, Leroy.
Hey, Liv.
There she is. Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
Can you reach out to Brian Scott? He's trying to donate again, and he's trying to use Apple Pay, but it's too Can you reach out to him, please? Yeah. He's Facebook. Yeah. Facebook. Come here. Here's his picture. Right here. Okay. Thanks, honey. Brian, hey, can you close my door? Honey, close my door. Sweetie, close my door. Please.
For the love of God.
I mean, it's like, I tried nice. Now I got to yell. son of a bitch, get in here. All right. So, jeez Louise.
Your relationship with her is so fun. I swear.
She's awesome. We get along. So we just been married forever, man. There's just like,
Yeah.
we don't take offense to anything. And we get along. But what's funny is that behind the scenes, she's the same way. She's like,
Can I tell you a funny story?
Hmm.
About 2 weeks ago, Sandy and I were having a little bit of a heated argument, right? And I was in the living room. She was in the kitchen, standing right behind the counter. And she was yelling at me it was about the honeydew list, like shit that wasn't happening. And, I know I got to get to it, but I also work a lot. And she was really digging into me, and it was really bothering. But she was really kind of heated. And so I said to her, hey, while you're there, make me a sandwich. And it didn't go over so well.
oh,
She
geez.
a little bit said, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And it was just, all right.
Listen, Olivia and I, we don't have any airs. We don't put on airs. We don't do it for you. We're not fake. Anyone who knows and been with Olivia and I for more than 5 minutes know that we are madly, passionately in love. But we also speak very, very plainly about when we're frustrated with each other. And that's why the show's real. And we've done it on the show. Like last night, mics are supposed to be muted. And I guarantee someone heard me say, God damn it, Olivia, fucking read the thing. And we were back and forth. It's just, and she'll be like, well, you're being an asshole. And I'm like, that's not important right now. The show's on. Let's go. But we text each other in the middle of the day, I love you, or I'm thinking about you, or whatever. And it's, our relationship is meant for us, and it's nobody else's business. We don't care what anyone thinks. And that's the great thing about Olivia. She doesn't care. She's like, this is who we are. We love each other, and we love passionately, and we argue. And you know what? We don't argue as much as we used to. In fact, we hardly argue at all anymore.
That's good.
That's good. Yeah. What happened with your son's car? People want to know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
boy.
Insurance companies got involved. No, insurance companies got involved. We had to send away for the police report. It's currently being worked. His car is still dinged up pretty badly. It's being worked on. He'll get it fixed. We found out that the driver did in fact have insurance, and we're currently in negotiations with their company to try and get it fixed soon.
Did you tell him that you could have him eliminated with one phone call?
Actually, what I said was I could have anybody I wanted put on the no-fly list, and they didn't like that, so.
I want to show you somebody who is not real. Folks, certain nights just aren't fun on this show. And you know what? I already understood what Donald Trump felt like, certainly not from the magnitude and severity of the things that he's dealing with and, my dinky little podcast. But I kind of understand him more today than I did yesterday. And my thoughts are, if you only knew how hard he works.
Right.
And the one thing I love about Tim Pool and Ben Shapiro is that they work hard. I can say nothing bad about Ben and Tim's work ethic. They are incredible workers. I don't know if Megyn Kelly works as hard. I don't think she does. I don't think Dave Rubin works that hard. I don't think Crowder works that hard. I just don't. I know for a fact Tim does. Tim works incredibly hard. He's doing 5 or 6 shows a day. He's always available. He's everywhere. He's writing. He's pumping up. He's doing video cuts. And yes, he has a team that helps him. But Megyn Kelly, she has writers. And she has to stay entertained. But a lot of her stuff is just being Megyn Kelly. She kind of made it. And the same thing with Crowder. But Ben Shapiro is nonstop. I mean, he is nonstop. He constantly works. And the one thing that I want people to say about me, when I decide to maybe do something else, or I retire from this, or I just give it to Leroy or give it to somebody else, or just get bored, because that's a real possibility. That's the one thing with me you need to know is I'm a dilettante. I am not great at anything, but I'm good at everything. And that's
fair.
That's kind of just the way I've always been. And I'll get bored of this. And just one day I'll stop. And it'll come out of the blue. And you just be like, what? How did that happen?
We've spoken about this on the phone a couple of times. There was he's had a couple of times where things weren't going the way maybe we thought things would go for the show. And Matt had called me and said, hey, I'm not sure I want to keep doing this. And, I support him, right? Show some love, talk him up, and definitely try to point out some of the positive aspects of not only his personality with the show, but also the success of the show up to this point. And we ended up, we've had those discussions.
We have. And very, very clear as day, he talked me off a cliff one day. I was done. I just, fuck it. I'm done. And that day will come and nothing will be able to talk me out of it. And it will be sudden, but but I always leave things better than I found them. You know what I mean? So it will be handed off to the right person. It'll be handed off to the right hands, but I'm not going to do this forever. It's just not going to, it'll metamorphosize. It'll change. Maybe I get into promotion. Maybe we turn this into a network. Maybe I go more into writing. Maybe I'm really enjoying Of Quiet Valor.
Franchise it.
Yeah. Right. And teach people how to do this. I mean, this is impossible to learn without having, and there's people who make very good money doing this. I mean, I don't know, or maybe I start woodworking, or maybe I just retire, but nights like this make that easier. Make that decision easier.
How so?
When you invest, okay, so when I write something and I'm writing, I'm not writing for me. I'm writing for the story, and I'm writing for the person who's going to consume and disseminate the story. And that is a different type of investment. And there are writers who just write for the dollar, or they write for the publication, or they write for a deadline. I write.
Clickbait.
Yeah. And then that investment takes a lot of energy, because you take a little bit of something from every guest and every fan and the hosts, and you think about them when you're writing. And you're not curtailing the piece for them. You're curtailing and representing the questions they may have, so you can kind of make it an easier experience for every single person you interact with, so you get better. That's the way I think. I go and I'm like, okay, what would Leroy say about this? Or what would T.S. Dixon say? Or what would Amy say? Or what would Olivia? And I go through this strenuous process while writing. Go ahead.
The fact that I'm even included in on that list is very humbling.
Oh, everybody's included on. I mean, and don't feel special, because everybody who interacts is included. But you're somebody I weigh. I've told you this 100 times. I weigh your opinion tremendously, and it's not just because of your rank, which we've openly discussed, that you're a chief in the United States Navy. There's always going to be deference and respect. And if you raised your voice at me, I'd shut the fuck up. You never have, but if you did, I'd be quiet. And that's just respect for the tan. But there's also an inherent respect for who you are as a human being, knowing that you would never pull that card on me, and wouldn't need to. We might need to yell a little bit, and we'll get to it. But
right.
My point is that when you invest that much stuff, and you try to you try to get ahead of potholes, and you try to get ahead of roadblocks and stuff, it takes a toll. And after I write a piece, or after I do a video, I watch it multiple times, and it's certainly not out of vanity. I critique what I'm watching and consume it like a listener. And I want to know, is this worthy of the people who consume my content? That is an extremely exhausting and intimate process that allows you to take a lot of shit personal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because each and every show, each and every opinion piece that you write, there is some level of exposure to your own personality.
Right.
So that when people critique it, you can't help but say, oh my God, when this person says this thing about my article that came out of my own noodle and came from this place, from my heart. And when some people tend to tear it to shreds, you can't help but take that personally.
But that's not the thing that I take personally, because it used to be the first year. That's all it was. It was literally me and my feelings and just being soft and just not being able to cope with rejection. I don't think that way anymore. The things I lament now are that I failed the reader or I failed the listener. That's what kills me. So when I have somebody say, you lectured me for 10 minutes, that hurts, because that wasn't what I was trying to do. And I obviously made a huge mistake. But what also frustrates me is when I go into my text message and go, I reached out to that person 4 times. I went to their personal page. I sent them a personal message twice. And I even texted them and emailed them through Shopify where they have purchased something from the show. Mm-hmm. And then I get mad. Or you have somebody who you absolutely love and adore as an Amy and try to help any way you can. And you see that their son is stuck in bad weather. And then she also has to go because there's flooding. But then you also make the connection that one of your friends had flooding in Texas and her husband was stuck. And Terry King talks about her son, and your ADHD and dyslexia kicks in, and you transpose the words you're saying by mistake. And then you get to hear, my husband's been dead for 31 months, you fucker. And you're like,
kicking yourself in the ass for this. And I really think that she probably forgave you about 20 minutes ago.
I don't know. No, I know Amy pretty well.
When I read through, when I read through some of these comments, like Joanne Collins Townsend, basically saying your storytelling is phenomenal. Very next comment, Carrie Rivas Spirix. God, I butchered that name. I'm sorry.
You always do. It's horrible.
This is why your writings are so successful. When you hear those kinds of things, you have to understand you're delivering to a pretty broad spectrum of audience members. And I wouldn't let it change your genuineness, if that's a word, when you are expressing something.
I don't think it ever will.
We all make mistakes.
But that's the risk, right? Is that I don't. And that's where one day I just won't have anything left to give, because that well will run dry. It needs, okay. The best way I know how to feel is that there are a lot of times I run in the red. Mm-hmm. Oh, shit. I'm going to get yelled at. Oh, fuck. We're in trouble now. Just hold on before you just calm down and mute your phone before you start yelling at me.
Red.
I'm always red. She's going to yell at me. So just hold on. You can yell at me in a second. My point is that there is a never ending. I think this is the thing with my wife, and she'll tell you, she doesn't allow me to be weak. That's the one thing that Olivia will say, is that she just doesn't allow me to have weakness. I have to be strong. I can't just break down. She just won't allow me to do it. And I can't have a really shitty day when it comes to being weak, because she knows that if she plays into that it is going to literally create just a ball of mess that is just going to make it worse. So she doesn't allow me to have those moments. And she shouldn't, because she knows me well enough. But there's only so much red you can go into in the bank account. You need deposits once in a while. And This is where I really align with Trump. Have we as fans defended him fervently enough for his inequities because of his success and what he's given back to us? And I'm not asking for that same treatment, because I've never done anything to that level. Mm-hmm. But my point is that at some point, the constant negativity from a man who really is a negative person to the people who are negative to him, that there is a limit to how much this man can take. And we are seeing 10 years of literally being beaten up by lawyers, by bullets, by Democrats, by haters, by women, by just everybody's coming at him. And I think he's finally saying, fucking enough. I've had enough. And I can understand that today. That's my point. Feeling a little pity, right? Feeling a little pity. Bird on the wire, frozen in the winter. Okay. Bird never felt sorry for himself. Okay. I get it. I understand the poem. Maybe I'm just feeling a little sorry for myself. All right, Mel, go ahead and fucking light me up. Did you see what it says on the phone, Olivia? Because it's my second wife. Go ahead, Mel.
Is she there?
Thing. It's like, and Leroy and Amy as well. You're one of the 100,000 like podcasters that actually entertains people for free every night, 5 days a week, with unabated commentary and whatever, that doesn't go behind paywalls. Because even Tim Pool, he has his little hour or whatever before the next part of it, the rest of his commentary and his show, and the commentary goes behind a paywall.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You haven't done that, and
never will.
I know you probably have thought about it, but right now it's like, yeah, well, no. But stop beating yourself the fuck up, because
all right,
it's not good for you. It's not good for your family, and it's not good for your viewers either, because none of us hold you like 1,000%. Like, I know you see, and I call them the trolls. They'll always be the trolls. A lot of us have been here for 4 or 5 years, like now with you, like whatever. You're not going to lose that base, and there's a lot of us. And there's a lot of the closet viewers that don't chime in a lot or don't call in or whatever, but
or the ones that are gay like Mike.
Exactly. Poor Mike, but anyway,
he deserves it. He's a quitter.
Yeah, no, he's not a quitter.
I know he's not a quitter. I just like fucking with him. Mel, I get all this. I'm just saying is that you got to take the good with the bad, and if everyone, I love that Matt's direct, and I love that Matt's honest, and I love that he just gets to the point. And Mike's calling, and I love that Mike. I got Mel on.
No, Mike can call.
All right. Yeah. I love you. You're the best.
Bye, Mel. Love you. Love you, kiddo.
So you get to a point. Oh my God,
Jesus, that's not annoying.
I got Mike Lynch. It's not my fault. Okay. All right. So listen. I'm just gonna say, you get to, and then I'm done with this after whatever. You get to a point where, and let me just, I gotta say it. I gotta get this off my chest. Lighten the fuck up. You want me to be direct. You want me to be honest. You want me to be cutthroat. You want me to get to the point. You want me to uncover shit. You want me to slice it and dice it and present it to you. You want sushi? You got sushi. Okay? Except for when it's you. So if you trust me when it's somebody else, and if you trust me when it's about a story, or you trust me because it's experiential learning, or you trust Leroy and I because of what we do, then you got to trust me when I'm coming at you a little bit and saying you're kind of being a dick. You can't have it both ways. And it doesn't mean I'm always right, because I know I am not always right. But if you listen to the segment, and this is directed at Mallory, I already owned the things you called out. I corrected myself on the loyalty immediately. Maybe it's just not the night to keep poking me. Maybe you could tell and go, you know what? I'm not going to fuck with Matt tonight because he wouldn't do it to me. I'm not going to do it to him. That's my point. So maybe self-awareness needs to be not just me. All right, Mike, go ahead. What do you got?
Well, know if you have the address to the closest burn victim hospital for me, because I've been just completely toasted tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you did kind of walk into it.
All right.
I did, 100% did. So
Yeah.
good job, Tommy. Good job on you. But
Yeah.
first off, hello, Leroy. Hello, Matt.
Yeah.
What's going on,
I
brother?
cannot tell you, it's going, my man. And Matt, I can't tell you how much I've been resonating with the message that you've been given, especially in the last couple minutes here tonight, of stuff I'm experiencing in my job. I work my ass off to try to get people to trust me, and then get a job done and project manage it and get it over the finish line, and then hope to God they'll call me for the next project, right? That's my task for the last 7 years. It's the only career I've had in my life, and it has been kicking my ass lately. You gave me a lot of great advice a couple months ago. In short, it's basically just like, man up, get it done. It's the way I view it, and it's just a constant voice in the back of my mind of like, hey, when stuff gets hard, fuck it, just go forward with it, get it completed. Someone doesn't want you with the job you're doing for them, get over it. Okay,
Yeah.
there'll be another day.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give that positive, outlook in this moment, because I get it. I'm starting to understand a lot more about the world and about how I could look at stuff differently. But a lot of that advice came from you, my man, and you deserve that credit. You do.
Yeah, but I am, but I appreciate that. But I am fully aware that I am very like the parallels between Trump right now, what he's doing, what I'm going through, is that there will come a time that people will look back on this 5 years from now. And this is what I get all the time throughout my managerial career, is that I fucking hated your guts when I was there with you. But 10 years ago, I didn't realize the things you were telling me were so damn right. I hear that more than anything else, because I don't have that filter. I don't know how to be false with people. I don't know how to go ahead and pretend. I just don't know how to do it. And if you are making me feel a certain way, I tell you, Leroy knows. He spent time with me. And in the middle of a car, I'm like, whoa, dude. Hold on. Go ahead, Leroy.
When we were in that car, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
At one point, Matt, we were driving back from the photo shoot, and Matt basically said, "Hey, if I gave you this piece of advice, would you take it?" And it was so direct that it was like, I had to metabolize it.
Yeah.
Like I had to stop and think, like, wait, what the fuck? Because I definitely am one for directness to some degree, but whenever I give it, it's always tempered. So I had to metabolize it and think about, well, what's the correct response here? Like, what am I? So I just tried to diffuse the situation, right? Try to pull it back a little bit, right?
Did I let you pull it back?
To some degree, you did.
Yep.
You basically said, "Yep, we'll let that go for now," which was basically the response that I got. We'll let that go for now. We'll come back to it later. We'll revisit it.
Yeah.
I think everyone needs to take just remember some minor pieces of advice. One of the great movies that I tend to fall back on is Ex Machina, and there's this great quote in there by Robert Oppenheimer that the drunk dude basically goes on to recite, which is awesome because I'm halfway there. And the guy on the couch basically says, "In battle, in forest, at the precipice in the mountains, on the dark of the great sea, in the midst of the javelins and the arrows, in the sleep of confusion, in the depths of shame, the good deeds a man has done before defend him." And I think you need to remember that, Matt. Not everything is a zero-sum game. To some degree, you need to give yourself a little bit of credit. I understand you feel like you've been beaten up a little bit tonight. But
self-inflicted.
Don't let it get to you.
No, you can't say that. You can't say that, though. That's impossible. You can't say that.
You
No,
can, because
you can.
You can. One of the great Stoic philosophies is to be quick to forgive other people and be less quick to forgive yourself. And I can understand that that's what you're doing.
Sure.
Just take it easy, man.
No. See, that's not fair, because I'm not taking it hard. What I'm saying is this is what I'm trying. See, I don't believe that I have communicated effectively. So let me try it one more time.
You mean ineffectively or effectively?
No, I don't think I've communicated effectively.
Okay.
Correct. I don't believe the message that I'm trying to convey is the right one. People think that I'm sad, or people think that I'm hurt or upset. That's not the case. I'm trying to provide some feedback that there is a human being on the other end of the mic, and sometimes people forget. That's what I'm saying. And the reason why other people don't do this and bring in guests is because of this reason. Because it complicates the show and it detracts from the show. I think this is the reason why we do this show. Because the name of the show is Don't Unfriend Me. And it should go both ways. I should never defriend you. And the only reason we should at any point is that if that relationship becomes destructive. So I think sometimes we forget the premise of what the show's about. And the show is about having a conversation that helps connect dots. And we're talking about things that are extremely volatile and extremely emotional, and it's dangerous. And the agreement when you come into this room is leave your sensitivity behind, but let's always remember that we're human beings and we're people. I think sometimes people forget that. That's my point.
100%.
That's fair.
It just, if I may, Matt, just 100% right there. It feels like if you play sports, like the coaches, my boss and I were talking about this earlier today. My coach in baseball was the most real human being, I suppose, out of every other coach. So any other sport, baseball coaches, for me, were just non-BSers. And that's what it feels like sometimes. And when someone comes at you, you just, baseball coach is like, hey, I don't give a crap about, your double pump or your crow hop. Like, just get it across the line, get it over to the second baseman, get it over to first place. Like, just get it there. Get it. I don't care how you look. Stop looking fancy.
Right. That's it.
Get it.
That's it.
And that is a very hard thing, especially in high school. There was one memory that I had where I had to steal a base. And I made it. I went from first to second. And then I look over at my coach and he codes me again. He's doing a 4 pattern on his chest. If it's in the top left sector, it's a odd number. If it's in the bottom right, it's an even number.
Yes.
And if anything was an even number, you're stealing. If it was odd, you're not stealing. He gave me, I'm still convinced to this day, like, go steal from second to third, literally the next pitch after I just stole from first to second. This is our first home game in a brand new field in high school. Everybody's there. And I'm feeling hot and ready. Like, I just got from first to second. I see the code again. I'm like, that's odd, but okay. He told me to do it. I'm going to do it. Well, I go from second to third. I get out, catcher throws the ball over to third base. It was rough. It was rough. Like, right in front of my home team dugout. My coach looks at me and he's like, what the F did you just do? Says it out loud. Every single fan hears this. This is a Christian school, mind you. What the F are you doing? Get into the locker room right up and now. And I did, and I couldn't let that go. Fast forward, 32 years old now. 2 months ago, my coach is working at a bar that, after I was working out with my boss, who's my quote-unquote trainer, is a mile away. It's about 15 minutes north of where I live. And he's been working there because he's been divorced, unfortunately. His wife, cheated on him. And I looked at him, and this is 10 years after I've last seen him, and I held that grudge for so long. And I shook his hand. I was like, Coach, good to see you. And he didn't know who I was at first until, the handshake. And I say that to say I carried somebody else's weight and baggage that was literally, he was my coach. Regardless of whether or not I thought he gave me the right sign is my point. And I'll bring it all back around here. It doesn't matter. What mattered is he got me to the point to where I could even steal that base.
Mm-hmm.
And he put me on the field. And he's gone through life. And I saw him with the gray hair and the wrinkly face and some sadness in his eyes because he's not a coach anymore. And in that moment, I let literally 10 plus years of just grief go away. Because I was like, hey, man, this is life. This is what life does to you. And it was a beautiful moment. And my boss doesn't still, like, to this moment, still doesn't understand that, I don't think. And he's a baseball coach himself. But I wanted to share that because
it's a good story.
I'm starting to learn that with life, because it kind of sucks. But when you look back, like you're saying, in the moment it might suck, but look back at all those sucky moments and be like, oh man, I grew from that. I learned from that.
Listen, you don't need to like help me understand what skin in the game means, and losing skin builds scar tissue. But when you expose yourself willingly, there is a investment that needs to be respected, and there needs to be boundaries. And that is, it's forgotten sometimes. That's all. And my wife will tell you the same thing. Matt's a rock. He's the one that stays strong. Something happens that's bad, he's there, and he's a rock. And when I'm not, it's uncomfortable. And they don't like it. But that is a very hard burden for a human being to carry. And this is why brothers and sisters of ours come home, because they have to be the rock when honestly they've been pummeled into sand. And they don't have the wherewithal and strength to be that rock. And they desperately need their family to be there for them in order to solidify, in order to amalgamate into a hardened material yet again, in order to be that person they desperately need. But first, they need something. My point is that humans have limits, people have limits, and they can only take so much before they just say, dude, I'm now sand, and I can't be that person you want me to be. There's nothing wrong with that. And men need to be comfortable with saying that, because we aren't. And this is why we lose 22 a day, is because people don't speak their minds. I don't know how not to, because I'm not going to take this. I'm not turning off this show and taking this with me. See, the difference between you and me, Mikey, is that I've already had that third base steal sign, and I've owned it because it's my fault, and I've also been given it when it's their fault, and I've learned to directly confront that so I can take it, use it, and lose it, because I'm almost done. Feedback is a gift. That's what they say. It's a fucking lie. Feedback is a bomb, and you have a choice. You either let it go off inside you and blow you apart, or you dismantle it, use the parts for something good. That is the truth about feedback. And you have to be careful in how you deliver it, because you don't know how the person's going to process it. So what I'm saying is boundaries decide that. Boundaries decide how you interact with other people. Leroy's got last word.
Feedback is an amazing thing. And you're right. It can be absolutely destructive depending on the person. So if you use it irresponsibly, you can wreck somebody. Or when given in a more tempered manner, right? Hey, this is how I feel because of this. This is how I took it, right? It can be used to say, to kind of give a little out-of-body experience, a third-person perspective, to say, maybe you should have worded it this way. Here's the thing, Matt. You're dealing with such a broad spectrum of listeners, and each one of them have things that might set them off, that some things, for some people, it might be completely calloused over. Obviously, our military listeners are completely calloused over. They're like, we don't give a shit.
Yeah, they're like, whatever. This is like barracks talk.
Right. Like, nobody gives a fuck. Move on. But there are people out there that do feel like, oh my God, this I feel this affects me. And it might be direct, it might be indirect, it might be just in reflection of something that happened in their past. But we all have those moments in time where we took something that was like, oh, you're right, I acted like a dick there, and I know I shouldn't have.
Yeah, that happens.
Or I screwed up. And even if it's something small, you reflect on it 20 years later. Could have been the word from an OS1 who was standing on the O3 deck during quarters. Obviously, this is a personal reflection, and was like, dude, you fucked up. Just own it. You know, fine. I get it. Right? Take that, move on. Let the calluses grow where they may.
Sure. Right. Except for the areas that are already calloused over and you expose because of trust. Listen, this is a delicate balance between putting a lot of different people and a lot of emotions and trying to, like, when you see something in chat and it flashes and it's about a kid or it's about your husband.
Yeah.
And there's a segment and Leroy and I are talking and all I want Leroy to do is shut the fuck up so I can say I'm sorry and say a prayer, or he sees it and wants me to shut up. That's stress. Or when a donation comes up and I've had people quit the show and say, I'll never donate to you again because you did not mention my donation. And you know that that's the lifeblood of you staying moving forward. You feel stress. Or when the power goes out and you've got 275 people on and in legacy and another 125 in non-legacy, and you're like, I'm going to lose viewers. You get stress. Or when the mic goes out and doesn't work, you get stress. Or when Leroy can't connect because of his internet, you get stress. And you have to understand there's only one person who deals with that stress, and it's me. There's no script supervisor. There's no videographer. There's no sound guy. There's no editor. There's no publisher. There's no marketer. There's no graphics guy. There's no video designer. It's me. So sometimes mistakes may be made, or maybe I'm just not perfect today. Maybe today is the day that I'm not good enough for you. And that should always be okay. Unless I abuse it. And if I abuse it, let me fucking have it. And if I don't, give me a fucking break. That's what I'm saying. That's all. That's all I got.
That's fair.
Good enough.
We all can't be on 100% of the time, folks.
No, it's impossible. And I'll take 98.8% of the time. But that's it. Tonight got in my craw a little bit. But you know what? I'm not going to not talk about it.
I'll say this, though.
Yeah.
The Don't Unfriend Me show is not one for A, failure, or B, like sparing feelings.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
the one thing that you'll get from here is some level of rawness, right? Could be a good thing or a bad thing. The thing is, you'll get the truth.
Yeah.
And whether or not we're having a good day or a bad day, sometimes I have a bad day. Sometimes Matt has a bad day.
Yep.
Sometimes we both have good days. And when those days are on, we both laugh our asses off. And it's usually one of our more awesome shows.
I thought this was a great show. I thought you and I had fun. I was enjoying even this is still a good show. Not for you. You don't like this stuff. You hate this stuff.
I do. I absolutely do, because there's some level of catharsis in this. You know, talking about people's prior histories and emotional baggage, it helps to get that out. So
sure, it is, but you still don't love these shows. You don't like it when we do this, and that's okay. And it's usually dependent on how much whiskey you've had. So the temp, yeah, I know, I've counted. So like, I know there's a timetable.
Not that much.
I didn't say there was a lot. I didn't say there was a lot. Listen, you need to get out here. So like, pick a day and let's go, and let me pay for the plane ticket, and let's go and get you out here. I want to see you. Take your minute. I'm not going. I've got segments to finish. You're getting out of here. And then I'm going to wrap up the rest, and I'm going to do power segments.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Tomorrow's
Friday. I have to work.
Yeah. So you got to get out of here.
You know, in terms of the segments, when we're talking about Trump and his policies and things that he's gotten right, things that he's gotten wrong, we could give 1 through 10 or A through F type scores on nearly everything. But overall, the dude has done really solid.
Yeah, he really has.
You don't have to like him to acknowledge that.
No.
You don't have to say, "Oh my God, he's been a great dude," even though I don't like him personally. That's fine. That's fine. Think of it in terms of What freedoms has he taken away from you that weren't already outlined in the Constitution and or the Bill of Rights? Moving on from that, when we have shows like this, when we have shows where there's some level of, oh my God, this viewer saw this and interpreted it as that, and Matt read a comment, and whether or not we can read it in the tone in which it was initially described, or are we just reading it because it's only text? Cut us some slack.
Yeah,
Honestly,
just a wee bit of slacky. Just
I
a wee bit.
can't read tone.
Well, that's the thing. Just
And,
call into the fucking show, right? Call in. I'm not going to bite
We'd
your head
all
off.
love to hear your voice.
They never
We
end
would
bad.
we would love to hear your voice. Oftentimes, those personal interactions, those personal inflections on speech go so much further than,
Yeah, fuck that. Love you, buddy. Get out of here. We love you.
Yeah.
See
Love
ya.
you guys.
Hey,
Peace out, homies.
Talk to you later, buddy. Bye. Leroy is amazing. Love him to death. We've got some topics that I have to finish. Thank you for hitting goal. I appreciate it. But we want to make sure we finish up, and I'm willing to spend a little bit of time to do that. Deborah says I need a vacation. No, I need a little more understanding. That's it. Just some understanding. That's it. Some patience and some understanding. That's all. Some grace. Just a little grace. Just a little grace. You know what I mean? If I make a mistake, cut me some slack. The interesting thing is right there. Got the Bible behind me. So I've committed to opening up and reading after a show, or when I first wake up in the morning and reading a little bit, and I'm trying. But nothing will ever change me being honest. I'm just not going to do it. I have to. I don't know any other way to be. I'm seeing if there's anything super pressing. Yeah, there's something funny. Have you guys seen Michelle Obama and Barack Obama did this video? This is funny. This is good. You guys will like this. And then I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on. I'll probably save a lot for tomorrow. But this needed to be said. But Michelle Obama did a podcast, and they came on and basically wanted to let everyone know that they're best friends again, and everything's good, and their marriage is fine, and everybody's completely overblowing the situation, and blah 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 blah. So they do these little things. Basically, they ask questions and they point fingers. Yeah. Mel says, I'm sure people are getting tired of me, Frank, and Joseph, the only ones that call in. And Mike, thanks for your call in, by the way. I just want you to know I appreciate all your comments, and thank you for calling in. No, I'm not tired of those people calling in, but I think a lot more people need to call in. I really do. I think this show would be much better with more people calling in. And I really do. I think it'd be very, very, very important for the show. Anyway, let's watch this. This is the real one, and then I've got the fake one for you. Here it is.
This one's for couples, 14 questions. Who apologizes the first after a fight? Who's the funny one? Who's more romantic? Who's more patient? Who's the better cook? Who said, I love you first? Who takes longer to get ready in the morning? Who's the grumpier one in the morning? Who's more stubborn? Who's the bigger baby when sick? Who's the social butterfly? Who's the messy one? Who works out more? Who requires more attention? This one's for a couple.
All right. So, so stupid. My wife would do in that? She would answer every single one, and I'd just be like, this is fucking dumb. She would get so mad at me. Olivia would be like, let's do this. This looks fun. I'm like, no, this looks stupid. So this is, with a little creative spin, the edited version. And it is cute, right? I mean, that's it. Listen, I don't like Michelle Obama and Barack Obama, but that's fine. There's nothing wrong. Whatever. If you guys say you're happy, I don't really give a shit if you are. Whatever. But this is hilarious. Listen to this. Oh, see, that makes tonight worth it. I had to show you guys that. Who really drowned the chef? Who has a bigger penis? Oh, the internet. Listen, if you have anything wholesome, the internet will take it away and destroy it. It's just, they'll destroy it. Okay, I want to do this too. I want to get to this. There is a stupid video that the Trump assassination was staged. This is the new 9/11 for Blue Anon. And I can't stand conspiracy theorists. They just can convince themselves of anything. So this is a new angle from Butler. And it says, odd behavior shows how they staged the famous photo. Moments after shots were fired, a member of Trump's team rushes to the side of the stage to gather photographers. Oh.
President's been shot. Oh, no. No. Either that or they're covering. We don't know. Either that or they're covering him. We love you.
Okay, I want you to look at something that's just really important. Look at this. See this? And look at the gap here. And look at the position of the crane. Okay? So here, here, and I want you to watch this rippling. The wind is going across. It's coming from east to west. Okay? Makes sense? Watch. Watch the black. See it? It's billowing. It's not super heavy. But when you have a giant 100-foot American flag on a crane and you're up 75 to 100 feet or whatever the foot it is, you're going to have different wind speeds at that altitude than you are on the ground level. It could be faster, it could be slower. But the point is, it's a giant sail. And how do I know this? Because I have an American flag. And at 3 miles an hour, that flag is going like this. And only in dead calm, but it's still moving. So the wind is moving. So that flag right now is literally like this. And it's spread out and it's furling, you know, because that's what flags do. Okay, so watch. Now it says he ushers in photographers from the left side of the stage. He's not ushering in photographers. Photographers are moving in because they recognize the shots have stopped, and they are literally paid for these type of photographs, and they will get a Pulitzer if they take the right shot. These are normal behaviors. We've seen people overseas that run in Beirut. We've seen people take buildings of 9/11 when it's collapsing. We've seen people who are in shootings who take photos. This is normal for photographers, especially professional. Now, look at the difference, the space between the black. So this now is that they are now at an angle, and they're sitting down on ground level, and they're looking up. Well, the degree of angle that they're pushing through is like 37 degrees, almost a 45-degree angle up. So the line of view of the flag only has to drop just a little bit, and you'll see a flag. But these idiots, oh, my God. Now, the wind has stopped. Several flags over here are no longer moving. Okay, you also have the coat no longer moving, and you can see the flag dropping into frame, and you're not seeing this black area flapping anymore. So the wind has died down. Trees no longer moving either. So these gusts have stopped. This is an open plain, and you get them in gusts. Everyone who's been on open plains understand this. You look, there's no mountains around there. It's all open field. So you get gusts. So the wind has stopped. What's going to happen? The flag's going to drop. Because that's what flags do. And you can see it right up here. Then just the very bottom of it is coming into shot. Now these fucking morons who made this video, the flag is lowered into position. Right. The flag guy is lowering the crane that's at the exact same angle it was, and he's lowering it so a photographer can get the greatest shot known to man when someone's firing bullets that have hit 3 people, killing Mr. Compatore and wounding 2 others, and hit the president in the ear. Yeah, he's lowering the flag for the perfect shot. This is fucking just...
We love you! Yes! 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 We love you, President Trump! No! Shot!
He continues to move the photographers into position with the help from his colleague. These are the dumbest people in the world. I can't say, folks, this is the shit I need a vacation from. I can't keep explaining this stuff. If anybody watches that and they're like, oh my God, this was a setup. This photograph was a setup. This is what needs to be investigated. We need to know about Butler. We need to know about J6. Hey, how about the pipe bomber? We're looking for this guy who shot a dice agent. Does anyone think they're going to find him when they can't even find the pipe bomber after what? 37 months, 38 months, 46 months, whatever it's been? Let's get to work. Let's do the things that are important. Let's stop worrying about stupid Jeffrey Epstein. That will either take care of itself or it's not. Let's focus on the most important things. Trump did not run on Jeffrey Epstein. Trump mentioned Jeffrey Epstein. We understand that. We understand a lot of his cabinet said it. But you know what? He's the president of the United States. He's got bigger fish to fry. Let the attorneys general do it. Let the FBI do it. And what if, God forbid, they opened up the files and said, the people who have deserved to be prosecuted and held accountable have been, and the people who haven't won't be. It happens all the time. Cases are picked up and dropped. Child sex traffickers get off for things because of technicalities, or because their Fifth Amendment wasn't respected, or the Fourth Amendment wasn't respected, or there was a procedural error, a clerical error, or ultimately they just got off and they shouldn't have. I don't know what to tell you. Life is unfair. But what I am telling you is that Donald Trump has done more things great for this country in the last 6 months, and is leaving a legacy that we can be proud of, and we are allowing it to distract us from what he's doing. And honestly, it's derailing his presidency. It's derailing the administration. But the numbers don't say that, and this is important to show you because the polling says something different. No matter what these videos say, no matter what you hear on Twitter, it's not indicative of what the truth actually is, because CNN had to say the following today. And you know, if CNN's saying it, it's got to be something fairly large for them to openly admit this. Listen.
I mean, look, I think this one surprised me a bit because of all these complaints online going after Trump and the Epstein files. You might think his approval ratings were going down, Republicans. If anything, they're going up. Republicans who approve of Trump, look at our CNN poll. The prior one, 86%. The one out this week, 88% were Republicans. How about Quinnipiac? The prior poll, 87% approve of Republicans. This week out, 90% were Republicans. If anything, Donald...
All right. Now, CNN, look at the lower left-hand corner. July 10th to 14th. Polls are 7-day lagging indicators. The polls for the 10th to the 14th, this is a week ago. Actually, it's almost 2 weeks ago. It's about 10 days. Okay, so this isn't accurate information. A lot of this stuff wasn't going on. It's now, yes, Dan Bongino and all of that, but they poll from the week before. Next week is going to give us a really key indicator if it's impacting his presidency, but it's not going to be anything large. Republican support right now, this is just Quinnipiac. The national average is 94%. That's the highest it's been in I don't even know how long. Republicans are for Trump. Most people, let's just be honest, they don't even know who the fuck Epstein is. This wasn't a national concern. It wasn't a part of his platform. It wasn't a part of Agenda 47. Yes, he mentioned it at a couple of rallies on a couple of podcasts, and he has already said and recommitted to having Pam Bondi released. But what he is saying is there's no there. We'll find out. Who do I like for Virginia governor? I don't have a choice. It's going to be Winsome Sears is either going to win or lose or die by the sword. Who do I like? Glenn Youngkin. And what he should have done is actually wiped away that stupid fucking rule that he has to spend 4 years away from the governorship before running again. He should have 2 terms. But he's going to run in 28, and he's going to fucking win too. And I'm telling you, I am, if Glenn Youngkin runs, the entire life is going to change. Starting 2026 mid-year, my life is going to change because my daughter is going to go work for him. when he runs, and she's going to volunteer for his campaign. That's what she wants to do. She's already preparing for it. And I'm going to go campaign for him. And I'm going to follow him around. And I'm going to try to get as many interviews as I can. And I'm going to cover his campaign. And I am going to fucking run and help that man win. So just be prepared for it. So even CNN saying this, you know, we'll see where he's at next week. Now, he can't survive 1,000 paper cuts. We saw what happened to Hillary Clinton. He's got to shore this thing up. He's got to get it taken care of. Let's get a viable answer for all the crybaby people who are jumping ship from Trump. Not because we need them. We need them to shut up. Donald Trump has done more for child sex trafficking in this country than any other president. Donald Trump has empowered the Department of Homeland Security, Border Patrol, the FBI to go after child sex traffickers. They are going after the dark web. They are going after violators. People are being arrested in Washington, D.C. who work for the federal government for child porn and other things. This man is doing his job. Let him cook. Let him cook. All right, folks, listen, I got to go. It's too late. This is my third night in a row past 10 o'clock, and today was self-inflicted. That's fine. Certainly did not mean to piss anyone off. Certainly didn't mean to ruffle any feathers. Things happen. Shit happens. I love Glenn Youngkin. I want him there. We'll see what happens. We'll be back tomorrow. It's Friday night. It's Red Friday. Make sure you wear red. Olivia and I will be here in the house. Amy can't be here, but that's okay. Then Thursday, we have T.S. Dixon. We'll be here for a recorded show, long-form recorded show. We're going to get into a bunch of stuff. We're going to be talking about a ton of stuff. And then we are going to have him live on the show as well. We might possibly also have his producer on here too. So it's going to be a full house. It's going to be a blast. If you haven't had a chance to donate, you can do that. dumbshow.com/donate. We'd appreciate it. We always appreciate it. You can also go buy some stuff, some hats, some shirts, whatever. Go over to thedumbshow.com. Use code DUMB10 to go ahead and save 10%. We appreciate you. Thanks everybody for a good show. Thanks for listening to me tonight. Let me get some stuff out. And we will, yes, I'm going to create a shirt that says, let him cook, Deborah. That is a great idea. I'll get to work on it. I'll have it done tomorrow. Add reminders, Siri, create let him cook shirt tomorrow, 8 a.m.
Okay, I've added create let him cook shirt for tomorrow, 8 o'clock.
That's right. And my chick is Irish because I love the Irish accent. Good night, everybody. God bless. Take care of each other. Be nice to each other. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.